Your husband had told me you were the most beautiful podcast he'd ever met. I didn't expect the most beautiful podcast I'd ever met.
It's a great line.
It is. I don't have a good Clooney. Few do. He's one of the least impersonated movie stars of that size, I would say.
He's got a thing, and someone could figure it out.
People do it, and you're like, this is, let's get right into the deep end here. I believe you kind of can't be a great movie star without being someone that someone can impersonate. You need to be distinctive enough that there is an ability to impersonate you in a specific way.
Someone could definitely do Clooney.
I've seen people do it,
yeah,
but very few.
You need to have like a hook that someone can hang on to.
Fascinate me, but I can't do, you know how.
You could do the head tilt.
It's a quality of
voice.
He's
very grovelly in this.
Yeah.
You know, the
down. But then in this, he's doing the Coens. The Coens get him working his neck unlike anyone else.
And the teeth, obviously. And the teeth. I mean, that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
I think this is, I mean, I guess, what's your favorite Clooney Coens performance?
Oh.
He's done 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know all 4?
Oh Brother.
Yep.
This one, Burn After Reading. I skipped one.
Hail Caesar.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
His Idiot trilogy, which is now 4 films.
Right.
My default answer is Burn After Reading, which I think he's unreal good in.
Right.
When I'm watching this, I go, how could it be anything but this?
He's unbelievable in this.
And this is so much on his shoulders.
Yes.
Even more than Oh Brother, where it's like
he's
the
amazing
3.
in Oh Brother, but
Well, Oh Brother has so much going on. Like, I didn't rewatch that one before this, but I did rewatch Burn After Reading. And Burn After Reading is like, it's an ensemble way more than this is. Like, this is just like really a 2-hander, but really kind of a 1-hander.
It's really kind of a
Clooney
1-hander.
show.
Yeah. He's the best.
He's unbelievable.
He's a nominee for me this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an amazing performance.
And this is
a
the
very
year
underrated
after
one.
Ocean's 11?
2 years
2 years,
after.
and before Ocean's 12, which
Correct.
Catherine Zeta-Jones is, of course, in.
This is the thing we've talked about in the past on this podcast that I found really interesting. I remember very distinctly, Catherine Zeta-Jones wins Best Supporting Actress for Chicago in 2002.
I do remember that.
Her 3 immediate follow-up films are Intolerable Cruelty, directed by the Coen brothers.
Yep.
Ocean's 12, directed by Steven Soderbergh. And The Terminal, directed by Steven Spielberg. And upon the release of Ocean's 12, which I think is the 3rd.
That's the last,
yes.
I think. Yeah.
She fires all of her reps.
I did not know that.
It's not just that. Her career is over.
Basically.
Yeah.
No, not basically. You can draw a line.
Well, she's married to Michael Douglas at what point?
That doesn't matter.
Well, but
that's already happened.
They're married in 99.
The follow-up to the run he just said, the immediate follow-up is Legend of Zorro, No Reservations, Death-Defying X, then 2 years later, The Rebound.
Which
over.
sat on a shelf.
It's over.
Was there not the sense, though, that she's like, I'm married to Michael Douglas and I got kids, I'm going to just peace?
There was part of that.
I think everyone was like, she stinks it up in all 3 of those movies. Sorry.
That was sort of, I think, the perception at the time. It was a little bit what happened to Helen Hunt post-Oscar.
Yes,
where
it was
like,
a take her Oscar away run.
Right.
Well,
but it's also that she made movies with exclusively incredible filmmakers. Movies that are basically, well, The Terminal's not good, but are basically all pretty good.
But among the least regarded of all of their movies.
Yes. I mean, obviously, we all love Ocean's 12 now.
Ocean's
but at the
12
time,
has now been reclaimed.
Yes.
At the time, it was not well received.
We're trying to start the drumbeat here
I
for
think
the
the drum
Intolerable
beat was
Cruelty.
started. Oh, yeah. We're trying to start
I see. Yes, which has not happened, but may start today.
And then Terminal, I feel like, is the furthest off, although some will defend it.
People stick up for it. I do think she's not one of the better parts of it, though. Like, you know.
No, but that's a perfect example of that part sucks. It is basically designed to make the audience hate whoever's occupying that role.
Get away from me, I'm sick.
Do we think that Catherine Zeta-Jones' revival is going to happen after Naked Gun has that great joke about her, which is fresh as we are having this conversation? I don't
Remind me
know
of the joke?
In my day, the only things that were electric were eels and Catherine Zeta-Jones' Chicago.
Which is a great joke.
So good.
Right. He's talking about the electric guitar. The electric car, sorry.
Yeah.
But I feel like he says 3 things. It might be guitar. It might be guitars, eels. And then the third thing is so wordy. Part of the majesty of it is that they give Liam Neeson 3 sentences to say quickly. And he goes,
and
Catherine Zeta-Jones' electrifying performance in 2002 film Chicago.
Like, that's what they do that joke so many times, and it's always hits. Just Liam Neeson saying a long thing.
Well, the Buffy TiVo joke that comes right after
Buffy
getting
the Black Eyed Peas
up
thing
about something from early 2000s pop culture that is still so relevant.
Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl.
Right. You're like, why is this guy so hung up on the pop culture from when he was 50? Like, it's part of what is so good about
because he's ageless.
But I don't look, I think that the Catherine Zeta-Jones comeback, in quotes, happened in that she is back and is on Netflix's hit show Wednesday. And did a National Treasure show. She's around. There is no chance of a
There's
real
the
comeback.
post-Oscar run. There's the run you just said that it's like a big drop-off. Then she disappears for a couple of years. Then there's like the 2013 sort of attempted comeback.
She's in 6 movies in 2 years, in 2012 and 2013.
Right.
Wow,
it's like Playing for Keeps, Rock of Ages, Side Effects. What's the other one I was about to say?
I don't know.
I'm looking at this.
Broken City?
Yeah.
What the hell is that? I'm looking
it's
at it.
It's a political
Hughes
thriller
brothers.
with, just one Hughes, I believe.
It's Hughes, Wahlberg, and
Alan
Crowe.
Hughes.
Yes.
And then there are 2 more?
There's 2
maybe
more.
I saw that movie.
One, you might remember just as a anonymous title, much like Playing for Keeps, Lay the Favorite.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a Frears.
Uh-huh.
The
Her
sum of all
character's name
Frears.
is Tulip?
Uh-huh.
That's a
And-
movie that
and-
has
and then
like
the-
10 giant movie stars in it and
It's-
doesn't exist.
Yep.
Bruce Willis is in it. Vince Vaughn's in it.
Rebecca
giant movies. I mean, it's a lot of movie stars who are at the tail end or whatever. And then Red 2 is the final. Now, the thing about what we're talking about here is that this is the third of the 3 movies, the Intolerable Cruelty, Terminal, Ocean's 12, that we have covered. We have
covered
really
this
put a
period.
magnifying glass
Yes.
on Catherine Zeta-Jones's post-Oscar bust.
Yes.
We haven't ever talked about great movies that she's been in, such as The Mask of Zorro,
Uh-huh.
High Fidelity,
Yes.
Traffic,
Yes.
Chicago.
America's
She's
Sweetheart.
great.
She just skipped right over that one. Not
She-
on the lineup.
She stinks in that
A movie I rewatched recently, kind of like.
I would be interested to rewatch it. I do not
almost
remember her
works.
working
It
in it.
almost works.
The only good joke in that movie is Hank Azaria saying "hunk it" the entire time.
The whole supporting cast of that movie is really
I remember Walken as there, right.
Tucci.
Tucci.
Mhm.
You get a good touch of the Tucci in that.
Yep.
But
you're
like,
right.
all the movies that made Catherine
But it is
Zeta-Jones
this-
the star that
it's
she
crazy
was.
where it's this, and we've talked about this, but this meteoric rise where it's basically like 1997, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
2002, an Oscar that almost feels like an overdue anointment.
Oh, at that point, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of just like, well, she's undeniably one of our greatest movie stars. And then just immediate drop off here. That run of 2013 we just called out. She has not been in a movie since then. She has done 5 different TV series,
Mhm.
but she has not been in a feature film.
You're forgetting, of course, Dad's Army, the British.
I'm sorry.
Homage sort of revival.
That was
of the
2017?
2016.
That is her
legendary.
actual last film, right?
Correct.
Wow.
Since then, she's done Disney Plus National Treasure
Yep.
series.
I will say she
Wednesday-
has a film coming up.
What is it?
She's in Kathy Yan's Birds of Prey follow-up, which is called The Gallerist.
That's right.
And has a stacked cast. Natalie Portman, Jenna Ortega, Sterling K. Brown,
I've
Charlie
heard
XCX.
Interesting things about this.
I've
movie.
heard unreleasable, or I've heard, I guess, like, why hasn't it been released?
Yes.
You should
it's
read the plot
done.
description because it's it grabs you.
A gallerist conspires to sell a deceased man
Mhm.
at Miami's Art Basel. That sounds kind of fun.
I'm into
Weekend
it.
at Bernie's
Yeah.
meets
Yeah.
the art world. Sounds good to me.
She does
Although
feel like
Art
someone.
World movie, Art World satire, that is tricky. Remember
Yeah.
Velvet Buzzsaw?
I never saw Velvet
Yes.
Buzzsaw.
And if someone tries it every couple of years, it's like, it's tough to, they're all so silly to begin with. It's tough to satirize.
I'm a
them.
fan of Kathy Yan.
Me too.
I'm excited for this. I want to see it. It does feel like she is someone who is just like,
A little cursed.
well, but also
Kathy Yan or Catherine Zeta-Jones or both?
Catherine Zeta-Jones, but also I'm just like, it feels like it's right there for the taking.
Yes.
It feels like you don't even have to go full substance.
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah,
right
yeah.
movie, the right supporting part for Catherine
Mhm.
Zeta-Jones, you look like a genius.
Yep.
And I thought she was incredibly good in Side Effects, where I remember seeing that in theaters and going like, this is it. And then that movie just makes no impact whatsoever.
That's a weird Soderbergh like wilderness.
I
Period.
really like that movie.
Yeah.
I liked it too.
I don't like her. In it.
Interesting.
This
She
is a
is-
real David's being mean to Catherine Zeta-Jones episode so far, which is weird because I think she works in Intolerable
I think she's good
Cruelty.
in this.
I do think she's its weakest element a little bit.
I would argue that's Jeffrey Rush, but we can get there.
Jeffrey Rush, he's in 2
just like,
scenes.
I don't. His,
I like this take. I just like
I mean,
coming
that's
in with this
fine.
hot of a take.
I didn't realize it was hot.
I remember even at the time, the whole thing. They're here. Look, I'm getting worked up about Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Look, this is
That-
Blank Check with Griffin and David. I'm Griffin.
I'm David.
It's a podcast about filmographies, directors who have massive success early on in their careers and are given a series of blank checks to make whatever crazy passion projects they want, and sometimes those checks clear, and sometimes they bounce. Baby, Kirshner was in Kentucky.
Forget Kirshner.
Forget Kirshner.
Forget Kirshner.
Are you crazy? Have you forgotten Kirshner? It's the best line.
Kirshner was in Kentucky.
Fun.
Richard Jenkins shows up in this movie, and you're just like, we are off to the races.
Richard Jenkins drops 80 atomic bomb, like just face, like just eyebrow twitches, and then Paul Adelstein hits like 43.
Yes,
like just crazy numbers.
Jenkins, I think, has 2-3 scenes, and I'm just like, I want to know everything about this.
It feels like he's in the entire movie,
It
but
does
you're
feel
right.
like he's in the entire movie.
Just be well placed.
I think it's the 2 meetings in the courtroom. Yeah.
He won't eat that croissant.
He won't. Pastry.
Pastry, excuse me.
This is the miniseries on the films of Joel and Ethan Coen.
Yeah. Together
and separately. It is called Pod Country for Old Cast. Today, we're starting the drumbeat of the Intolerable Cruelty Reclamation, a movie I have found in my anecdotal conversations with people as we've been doing this series. Even the most ardent Coen supporters I know in my life, by and large, are like, yeah, I saw that when it came out in theaters. It's bad, right? And have never rewatched it.
More than Lady Killers? I always thought Lady Killers had... Okay, all right.
More. I did a little defense.
Well, he tried, but I'm saying like...
a little defense.
I agree with Griffin that I know there are Intolerable Cruelty fans out there, because I'm one of them.
Yeah.
But we did kind of cast nets being like, so come on, who's the big defender out there ready to come on? Blank check, famous podcast, Time 100.
Yes.
Decade of Dreams.
Yes.
Seth Rogen's on the show.
You didn't say that
come
then.
on the show? I said all of this.
You said all of this.
You didn't dangle Seth Rogen.
I was walking
at
on the top of 30 Rock, just blaring this from the top of my lungs.
You hit an old-timey director megaphone.
And I couldn't really find anyone who was like, yes, Intolerable Cruelty. I want to defend it.
We've been such big defenders for a while that we're like, there have to be others. And I just keep finding people who are like, saw in theaters opening weekend, disappointed.
Didn't like.
Have never considered rewatching it.
Or I've heard from others like, oh, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of that. Not so much what I expect and what I've always thought since I saw it in theaters, which is this rocks. I love it.
Now, David, in order to complete this task, we had to look to the aforementioned Time 100 Greatest Podcast of All Time list.
We had to shunt her from 2 other episodes she was booked on because we kept booking famous people.
I think I was considered for 3, actually. There were definitely 3 titles in the mix at some point.
I
wouldn't have done any of them, to be clear.
You are overdue. Yes. We were like, we're getting Katey on somewhere in this series.
And you were like, I'm going to be, in our defense, you were also kind of like, I'm coming to New York somewhere in like a 3-month window.
Yes, I make it difficult. I was supposed to have come on for a whole previous series, and then I had to go to Los Angeles instead, which is way less fun.
What are you supposed to come on
always?
for?
Yeah, always. And you guys replaced me with
Ryan
Richard Lawson, which I accept.
Listen, from one of the 100 greatest podcasts of all time.
And other podcasts.
Fighting in the War Room, but also Prestige Junkie.
Junkie and all
the
of great work at the Ankler.
True.
Katey Rich, who I'm overdue, but I'm going to anoint you with a title now.
What do we got?
We always say that you were kind of the first blank check guest.
You kind of were. I mean, Emily Ishida was.
This is the thing.
But she was on this weird sort of herky-jerky.
Did she do like the early Shyamalans before
Sixth
Sense?
She talked about...
We did a revisiting of Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, yeah. So like it was basically... But it was the early run of me asking my friends, and you had asked...
Yes.
The Star Wars show, you, I feel like, had asked more comedian friends because it's like we were more of a comedy show.
Also, most of our trivia team.
Like I wasn't going to ask film critics that I admired and respected.
We call Emily the mother of blankies.
Anyway, but you
which
are
I think is a title she has earned. I want to be clear.
She comes up with the term in the episode. In that episode, we're like, should we rename our show?
Right.
You were the first guest when the show was officially blank check.
Yes.
So
you were on the Sixth Sense episode, to be clear.
Yes.
And it was kind of the first episode the box office game got played.
It is?
Was it really?
Because it's my favorite box office weekend.
I did it as a whim. I was like, oh, let's try to guess
I
them.
called out how much I love that weekend.
Yes.
And it became the game.
Yeah.
So I want to anoint you here in this decade of dreams. The auntie of blankies.
Oh, God, what an honor.
I think Katey Rich should be the auntie of blankies.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting on a porch, just like this porch that's right here in the studio.
Right. Sipping on a sweet tea.
Yeah, or half sweet, half lemonade. Arnold Palmer. You know, I could have brought some pimento cheese here. Y'all, come on. You have been talking for years, pre-pandemic, about doing a road trip and coming down. And David, I realize you have a large cargo now.
But I love North Carolina.
We have a lot of toys in our house. Bring your children.
Including some that I've sent.
That's true.
My kids aren't like, oh yeah, all I need are some toys. Yeah. Anyway, Karen.
I do think Griffin was spiritually with us because we went to Pandora. We went to Animal Kingdom and saw the floating islands of Pandora in Florida. And I do think the banshees that you sent to our house were like with us along on the journey. And like I talked to you about going through the little boat ride that people think is boring, but I thought was beautiful. Anyway, you have helped encourage it.
Boat ride through Pandora.
Come down and see Fire and Ash with
Absolutely.
us. We're going to be there opening night, I'm sure.
I like that idea.
Charlie went to summer camp. Charlie, past and future guest, now 9 years old, which I just feel like
he's
people
on the
listening
Titanic
need
episode
to know
as a sub 6-month-old baby.
As a baby, and
He
now
still
is
holds
9
the
years
record
old.
For youngest guest.
I hope he keeps it.
Yes.
But he went to summer camp, and the week that the Fire and Ash trailer came out, and I picked him up. And while we were in the car, before we'd gotten like more than 2 miles away, I was like, "You got to watch this. You got to see the Fire and Ash trailer." And he's so hyped. We're ready. We'll be there.
Few things in this horrible, broken world make me happier than how much Charlie loves Avatar.
You know what rocks about Fire and Ash too?
What
is like
Fire and Ash?
With Way of Water, just years of. Yeah, but is he actually going to make it? And and it kept getting delayed and all this. And then Avatar 3, he was like, yeah, it's going to come out 2 years after.
The best.
And like clockwork, they were like, here's your trailer. This movie is ready. Like, this movie's coming.
I feel
There's
like
no fucking
Ash
around.
Doesn't get enough credit.
Everyone's talking fire.
Yeah.
What about the Ash?
With Fire and Ash.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say about Fire and Ash. I agree with you where you're like, okay, we're getting into like a rhythm here. Now these are going to come out, and then you look at the calendar and you're like, 4 is 5 years away?
Is he going to make them? Do you think he's going to do it?
I don't think so.
You don't think he's going to make the other ones?
The way he's talking about, oh, now I really want to like make you live inside of a nuclear explosion for this like Hiroshima movie.
I want to
make
you cry.
Like he keeps being like, it's going to be an IMAX. Maybe I'll make an even bigger IMAX that's even more horrible to witness or whatever.
I will make you hurt. Basically, every James Cameron quote now is just him singing the lyrics of her.
Like I don't think
I want to punish the audience.
You know, George R.R. Martin is someone who clearly like hit a wall in his big creative process for his book, and it's not like he got lazy. He just started doing other stuff, being like, well, I hope I figure that out one day, right? And maybe he will, maybe he won't. James Cameron, he's not lazy.
No.
But you get the sense from him a little bit of like, I just want to take a break, and then I'm going to get back to them. Where you're like,
but the man's 75 years old and
he's 70.
Ticking. Okay,
he's not, and he's a fit man.
Oh, sure.
He looks great.
I'm not worried about.
But he could die in a submarine accident at any moment.
Well, that's true. Although he would tell you, like, no fucking way am I dying in a submarine. I follow all the precautions.
I'm smart, unlike all the other guys who die in submarines.
Best at staying alive in a submarine.
And he's very good at it.
It's true.
Undefeated at this point.
Maybe he'll hand it off to somebody. I don't know. He's intimated he could.
That had always been my guess.
Yeah.
And now he's saying, I don't want to hand them off.
Right.
Here's my new theory. He's always done this thing where after an Avatar, he's like, maybe I want to make something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then Disney announces a new record-breaking deal for him to fast-track the next Avatar.
They've built him like a space station this time or what, you know, like they've always built him some new facility.
But he did it with Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Right.
After Way of Water, he was like, I'm going to make this Hiroshima movie right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, never mind Fire and Ash coming out 2 years on the clock.
Right.
I also think he has most of the footage in the can.
For 4 and 5? You think so?
Yes.
Most of?
I thought 2 and 3 were together, and then 4 and 5 were going to be.
He's been doing more since then.
I see. Well, he's got like the studio in New Zealand,
God
right?
bless him.
He can just like throw Kate Winslet into the tank
Look,
whenever he wants.
I want.
We want. I just wonder if he's sort of now like, I've captured most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I be doing post on avatars while making new movies?
I see.
Which feels like a tall task, but if anyone has the hubris to believe they could pull it off, to do the sort of Schindler Jurassic.
I was just gonna say it's like Spielberg.
That's my new theory on what he's getting.
I'm all for it, and I'm all for the sort of like these big directors hit a certain age, the Ridley Scott syndrome, and they're like, I want to work more. Like
Scorsese is doing the same thing.
Well, let's not go crazy. I mean, Marty works.
He's no Ridley Scott, but
it feels
no
Ridley Scott.
Slowing down now.
Marty
but
is
he
slowing
had
down.
been cranking.
I think the other thing with Marty is it's like he can only work at a high budget and all this stuff because he needs to work pretty slow and have a lot of infrastructure around him. Whereas Ridley Scott's like, send in my team, you know, we'll make a fucking, you know,
infamously fast.
I can build a pyramid for you in an hour or whatever it is he does.
Yeah.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Mhm.
Zeta?
That's an SNL 25
Say
joke.
what-
Bill Murray, Nick the Lounge Singer,
Welsh accent. How
sings
would
to
you-
Catherine Zeta-Jones in the audience.
How would
and
you-
it goes,
You know, the Welsh accent is very sing-songy. I can't really do it.
Catherine Zeta. Zeta. Is it Zeta or Zeta? And I always forget how she corrects him.
Well,
I always think it's Zeta.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, the great Catherine Zeta-Jones. In a way, the great Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes.
I was raised on Catherine Zeta-Jones, right? I saw Mask of Zorro when I was 12.
mhm.
Beyond that,
Bewitched by this woman.
we have said this, the two trailers, she had two trailer moments that felt like they exploded the universe.
The entrapment trailer.
Entrapment.
Entrapment, her going through the lasers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the end of the Zorro trailer,
Where her clothes
her
Yes.
clothes fall off in
Mhm.
a Z. And it felt like those two things, it was like Bill Clinton got like State of the Union. We all agree this is the sexiest woman on the planet.
She's
And it just
so
felt like in a way that was
beautiful.
codified
Yes.
for like all children. You were like, I get it. You're telling me
Yeah.
this is like the height of like glamour and charisma. And then there was this narrative that like Michael Douglas was like, I must meet that woman.
Bring her to me.
That's a decent Michael Douglas, actually.
Thank you. This is CNN. And then it was this constant comedy of like she has to change his diapers.
Yep.
She's married to the oldest man in the world.
Right. Meanwhile, he's like, I'm going to play Ant-Man 20 years from now or whatever the fuck.
Then she's in Traffic and people were like, is she actually a good actress? And then
Traffic
she wins
was
the Oscar.
Right. Was the don't bullshit me, but yeah, she's pretty good. And then within a couple of years, she's won an Oscar.
Yep.
And
Okay.
I have this very strong memory of my industry dad having the variety that says she's fired all of her reps. And he goes like, I know these movies haven't worked. The Intolerable
Terminal,
Cruelty.
yeah.
Yes. Terminal, Ocean's 12 run in a row. But he was like, if you got Academy Award winner Catherine Zeta-Jones and the next three projects you give her are Cohen's, Spielberg, Hanks.
Mhm.
You're
Cohen's,
doing your
Clooney,
job.
Spielberg, Hanks,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
Oceans.
Yeah.
You're doing your job. You
Yep.
kind of can't get three better projects for her.
I would agree
and
with
yet,
that. And yet they didn't, none of them really worked out.
And the stink was on her.
The stink
Even
was
though
on
none
her.
of them are her fault. The reason that,
Agreed.
that they did not work. Although I think I would agree. I was thinking about her performance in this and whether she's the weak link and like who I would replace her with. Like,
Well,
from
so that was
period.
my question. Well,
yeah.
but no, so here's what I want to bring up right now.
Mhm.
So 2003, David Sims, imagine him, 17 years old,
picture
a
it.
cinephile.
Mm.
Foggy
Okay.
London town.
Yes. Living in foggy London town, reading his Empire magazines. By this point,
Mhm.
reading his Sight and Sounds,
Ooh.
watching his old movies,
A
right?
cool guy.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Funky fresh.
Yeah.
Active social life.
Yeah.
I had a very active social life. I
And
am
yet
an
you watched all
extroverted
these
boy.
movies.
Biting your bottom
Uh,
lip, raising the roof.
Doing those things. Dressing, we're going to say just okay. Probably some work to be done
If you
there.
watch this movie, you see the fashion of the time and realize none of us really stood a chance. It's
That's
fine.
it's an interesting point. So, but there's two movies that come out this year that are related to each other
Mhm.
in that they are both trying to recapture the sort of throwback spirit of an old rom-com. Intolerable Cruelty, I would say, is more of a screwball comedy, and then Down with Love,
Mhm.
Oh,
which
sure.
is more of a sort of 50s Doris Day, Rock Hudson kind of
Yeah.
thing. But like they both have this same energy of like, arch. We are going super arch. We've got movie stars, we've got costumes, we've got bright colors, and audiences are like, no, thank you. Like, absolutely not. This is not the tone we prefer.
Down with Love has completely been reclaimed, I would say, at this
Yes.
point.
Down with Love was essentially an instant cult classic. It
Right.
came out, bombed. Critics were like, blah, but audiences were like, we hate it. And the Oscar Watch forums were like, masterpiece.
Right.
You know
Well,
what
and
I
it has
mean?
a period piece going for it, right? Like the
It
Intolerable
does.
Cruelty being
Intolerable
present
Cruelty
day.
does the weird kind of not a period piece, but something of a
But
period
this
like
is what I was gonna
tone.
say. I think it is why everyone bumped on this when it came out.
Yes.
Is for filmmakers who are so good at pastiche,
Mm-hmm.
this is one of their most pastiche movies,
Yes.
and yet it is committed to being dressed like a modern film.
And featuring modern things like
Absolutely.
video cameras
Sure.
and fucking, just like the sort of
Cable shows.
the type of gold digger that
Yes.
it's about is a modern kind of, all that shit.
I think that broke brains in both directions.
Definitely.
And you even look at the trailer for this movie, which can't
which
decide.
I saw a billion times.
A billion times.
Yes.
You cannot decide. You Fascinate Me was
You fascinate me.
was one of those
was, yeah.
weird duly appointed federal marshals.
Yes. 100%.
Right. The trailer can't decide if they're trying to sell Cohen's weirdness or they're trying to sell two sexy movie stars
think
doing rom-com.
It's
Yeah.
more trying to sell we've got two hot people. They're going to fall in love and it's a comedy set in the world of the divorce lawyer. Okay, fine. But yeah, yes, lest ye forget
to Klaus the Baron Heinz fun.
Exactly.
Right.
There's going to be some goofy Coensy stuff.
Yeah.
And that's me again in the audience, with a little foam finger being like, I'm ready.
Yes.
I love Preston
Because
Sturgis.
in the context of the movie, those things do go hand in hand, but selling them both together is really hard.
I think this movie is incredibly cohesive and like of a piece.
Agree.
But I remember I did not see this at the time. I said erroneously from the moment I became Coen-pilled when I saw Oh Brother, I haven't missed one of their films in theaters. But I didn't see this in theaters because everyone around me told me it was bad.
It didn't get very good reviews, and it vanished quickly
both
at the box
directions,
office.
Where I was like, people who went to see it as a comedy were like, that thing sucks, it's not funny. And I was like, well, I don't trust them. I need to talk to Coen's people. And Coen's people in my life were like, it's bad. It doesn't feel like them. It feels anonymous, which is insane to me.
Now it's insane.
Yeah.
But I do think there was that bumping of like, people didn't know how to process this.
Yeah.
I think if this movie had been set in an arch 40s like sort of thing, it would have.
If it had been the Hudsucker proxy, which I did rewatch coming into this and was thinking a lot about that archness and how the setting of it tells you what it's going to be way more than Intolerable Cruelty does.
Would have
but that movie was a
bombed
giant bomb.
as hard, if not harder upon release.
Yeah.
But I think it would have found its champions faster.
Yes.
Versus I feel like Coen's people who are like loath to revisit this because they're like, I just remember that being a complete nothing.
Yeah.
I think
Which
if
is
you watch
absolutely
it
not.
now, I watched it for the first time on a plane years later, and I was like, it's the one I haven't seen. I guess I should watch it. And I got to the fucking Kirshner was in Kentucky scene, and I immediately was like, this is fucking Preston Sturges. This is the most Sturges of any of their films.
100%.
How did people not get this? Down to like its weird like 7-act structure.
Yeah.
It's like insane, like scenes, like set pieces built around dialogue and like 7 internal games within a 5-person conversation.
Objection, Your Honor. Poetry recitation.
Right.
I'm just going to keep giving you lines. We would say Faranku Marteau de ses fesses. You would say make hammer on his fanny.
Yeah.
The way they say nail his ass in 5 different ways across the yes.
It's the funniest thing to me that this remains their most expensive film. I've erroneously said it was Hudsucker, but I didn't realize this movie cost a reported $60 million.
I want to see what JJ's research says because I've seen that number, and maybe it is truly just Clooney and Catherine got their quote.
I also think a lot of some development costs.
Maybe
you
that
have
too.
to remember that always counts against the film, and this movie just bopped around for 15 years.
Creek, I'm opening the dossier, actually. Why not? Because indeed, this is crucial to understanding Intolerable Cruelty because it lived many lives before the Coens made it. It was written as a film by Robert Ramsey and Matthew Stone, who had made movies like Man of the House.
Of course.
Oh,
Soul Man.
JTT, remember it well.
Life, the
Ted
Demme, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy dramedy that is like not bad.
We every time this comes up the box office,
movie.
It's so close to being great that every 5 years I'll watch it and I'll be like, is it a masterpiece yet?
Right.
Like, do I need to put it back in the oven for 5 more years?
And they write the script.
Man of the House and Soul Man, of course, 2 of the least culturally problematic films ever made.
No, not Soul Man.
Oh, Soul Men?
Soul Men with Robert Downey Jr. and Bertie Mac, which is a serviceable.
Not Robert Downey Jr.
I mean,
Samuel
Jackson. A three
I was going to say, that still sounds problematic here.
He wanted to follow up his Tropic Thunder nomination.
I feel like that was like one of the last Bernie Mac movies, right?
Yeah, that came out in after Intolerable Cruelty, right?
Soul Men came out in 2008.
Yes.
I want to say Old Dogs is the last one to be released.
Possibly. But I feel like it was the
Soul
last
Man was his last Bernie Mac vehicle.
Where he's above the title.
It's okay.
Anyway, they wrote this concept based, rom-com set in the world of divorce lawyer. Okay, funny. Michael Keaton Jones, the director of Doc Hollywood, is attached. That makes sense.
Sure.
Like, that sounds like a sort of okay rom-com from the 90s so far, right? The Coens come on as screenwriters because Ron Howard picks it up and brings them in to polish it.
Right.
He wants to make it after wrapping Ransom. And then Howard moves on to make way for Andrew Bergman, the director of The Freshman.
It Could Happen to You.
Uh-huh. another guy who makes
Totally makes
that
sense.
kind of 90s on-base single.
But it basically, I don't know if the pitch was this focused at the time, but I feel like my girlfriend was asking me, like, what is Intolerable Cruelty about? And I was like, how do I logline it? And it's interesting because this felt like a script that studios were so hot on for
Studios
so long.
just kept being like, someone's got to make
Right. This
Right.
is such a good premise. And I was like, I guess the premise is divorce lawyer who becomes obsessed with world's greatest gold digger.
There's
Yeah.
that.
It's
and-
like
And a
they're
love
on
story.
opposite
right,
sides
there's
of
a
the
sincerity
battle.
like
in
what
it.
if what if the world's most brutal divorce lawyer and the world's greatest gold digger fell in love?
Right.
Yeah.
And they sort of become
Um,
fascinated with each other. And
But imagining Ron
tit for tat
Howard
with.
doing that with like a gold digger, like there's a cynicism baked into it that's hard to imagine a lot of these people doing it.
But I mean, like, I just figure guys like Ron Howard are like, Ron Howard is the ultimate journeyman. He's like, I'm making a thriller. Maybe I'll make a rom-com.
I'll make the
Sure,
fluffiest
sure,
version.
sure.
of it. I
Yeah.
think everyone else was going to make a much softer version of this. Chronologically, this is the first for hire work Coens do.
Right. This is the
Is this
start
polish
of them.
of the script.
So what?
becoming
Where are
for
they?
hire.
This is like
It's
in the
before
period where
Fargo.
the period where they're making Hudsucker and they haven't made any money,
They
so they're
probably
doing
want
script
some money.
doctoring.
So I
okay.
think it's in the immediate post Hudsucker, they do a pass on this.
Mhm.
That pass gets people really excited. That's when it elevates to like, oh, now it's Ron Howard level filmmakers interested in
So
this.
after Bergman, Joe Dante came aboard and
With-
was going to make it with Jeremy Irons and Heather Locklear.
Bizarre.
Which, like, they're not a pair that makes sense.
Nope.
Jeremy Irons, like, I could see
It
that.
could be fun.
Howard then returns,
Mhm.
then leaves to make Grinch and Beautiful Mind.
Great.
Other people are rewriting the script past the Coen draft at this point.
So they had moved on. They made
Jonathan-
Fargo. They're
Yes.
good. They can do other stuff.
Then
Yes.
Jonathan Demme, who's clearly seeking out a sort of throwbacky movie and
Mhm.
eventually makes it with Truth About Charlie,
But what is
like
so
circles this one with Will Smith.
This is what's insane. I need to just get this timeline clear here. He's trying to do Truth About Charlie with Will Smith. Will Smith
Right.
is doing Ollie with Michael Mann.
Right. And Ollie just takes too long.
Surprise of surprise, Michael Mann movie runs over budget, over schedule. And he's just
And Will
like,
Smith is very much like, I don't care. I will do anything for this movie. Like, he was so in on Ollie.
right, that he's like, I guess I'll wait for you.
Right.
There's the threat of a WGA strike
Okay.
that ends up not happening.
Right. That was right. You're
that
right.
has everyone panicked of like, you got to get something made. So then he's like, can I find something else?
Maybe I'll make something in the meantime. So,
So
right.
then he
Then he
finds
circles
Intolerable
this.
Cruelty.
And
Right.
he wants Hugh Grant
Mhm.
Sure.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
and Taya Leone. But at the time, she's-
anti Leone.
Have you seen
weren't
Spanglish?
You weren't,
Do you think
Taya
Taya Leone
not sure.
could
I
do
have-
this?
Bravest
I
performance.
watched a lot of Just Shoot Me in this period.
I
Well,
love-
she's not in that.
I love
so.
Shaylee.
Was she in Just Shoot Me?
No,
I'm
she
sure
was
you
on
enjoyed
The
it.
Who am I
Naked
thinking
Truth.
of? God, she was on a show.
It was called The Naked Truth, was it
Okay.
not?
I
it
think
was
so,
also
wasn't
an
it?
NBC.
Hang on. What
She was an
NBC
entertainment
sitcom
journalist.
do I know Taya Leone from?
I mean, I think of Taya Leone as emerging with like Flirting with Disaster or whatever,
Yeah.
right? The David O'Reilly. And then she was in Deep Impact.
Yes.
I
Which
know
I
her
guess-
from Deep Impact for sure. I
See,
guess
her
The
being
Naked
in-
Truth is what I'm thinking of.
Right. But her being in Deep Impact was kind of that thing of like, she was in a movie that made money.
Yeah.
Is she a star?
Yeah.
And like the answer was
Family
sort of
Man, I think
no.
she's very good in.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put us on a Taya Leone.
She's
and then
the famous
sidebar.
Entertainment Weekly cover for Naked Truth, where I believe she's naked wrapped in an American flag.
Mhm. That all sounds about right.
Yes.
Demi then
Well, so
hops off to go
he's-
back to Truth About Charlie.
Right.
This
He
time
goes,
with Mark
"Never mind."
Wahlberg, who's going to be great.
I can't wait for Will. I'll do Truth About Charlie. One of the worst movie star casting choices of all time, not waiting for Will Smith.
Mhm.
And then he tries after the fact to do
Yes.
Intolerable Cruelty again with Will Smith because he's so angry that he missed his Will Smith
Correct.
shot.
He makes Truth About Charlie. He's coming off of that probably thinking like, nailed that. Everyone's going to love it. And then, is like, I still have Taya Leone attached and I'm now going to try and attract Will Smith.
Mhm.
Would Will Smith
Uh,
have been good in this movie?
Sure. Yeah.
I can see a
think Will
version
Smith
of
would be
it
good
working.
in this movie.
Not like Clooney, but I can see
Yeah.
it working.
I mean, like Hitch Will Smith, the kind of like
yeah.
overconfident but doesn't,
But
he'd be fine.
Hitch is the
It's a
perfect
completely different movie.
Will Smith
Yeah.
rom-com vehicle.
Yeah.
Down to now understanding how much of that movie is like weirdly autobiographical.
Right. So the Coens, obviously, the whole time are around as script polishers, but they are developing To the White Sea.
Mhm.
Their ill-begotten, never-made adaptation of a J.D. Sickie novel. And obviously they want Brad Pitt, and that movie has bounced from Universal to 20th Century Fox.
It's this constant battle of like a budget between $40 and $60 million. They can get it made for 40 with Brad Pitt.
Yes.
But every time they have
Coens
a close
want
set up,
like 60 and they want to shoot it in Japan, and Fox keeps being like, isn't this like a movie with no dialogue that's
they'll
like completely
tentatively
bizarre?
like greenlight it at 50, and then a new budget will come in that's 60, and
So
they
this
pull
is
the brakes
all
on it
they're
again.
actively in the middle of this, like after Oh Brother, trying to make To the White
It's the
Sea.
thing they keep trying to make. By 2001, Joel Cohen says in an interview that To the White Sea, quote, went down the old Drainerino. I do like that. They're pretty, kind of
But they're
flippant.
like close to going.
Yes.
It falls apart, and they're like, I guess we're giving up on this for good. Carter Burwell
It's the
basically,
one movie they to this day talk about as like, that was a movie we wanted to make. Like, of course, they've had other projects that never came to fruition, but that seems to be the only one.
It is the great unmade movie.
Right. In their
Our friends
brain.
Rach and Tori Jordan Fish, your former
Mutual
classmates.
friends, my former classmates.
Have done a great podcast about it, continue to do a great podcast about it. But yes, it's the great unmade
I have
Coen's
a question,
movie.
actually. Were you in attendance of the early MGMT concert?
Yes, I've seen that video going around.
Yeah,
I'm not in that video, but like I have like Zapruder film gone through it, being like, I've got to know someone who's in that.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to find it, but yes, I saw them play multiple house parties circa 2004, 2003.
And you were like, this music could really crush in a
no.
commercial.
That Kids was the
so
song that they
cool.
had in college that they would put it on at a party, and everyone would go nuts.
Well, it's
Every
good.
wedding I've been to from someone from Wesleyan, like they always play Kids. Everyone always gets in. Like it's a thing. It's
What was the other one? There were two. It was Kids and...
and Time to Pretend was
Time to
there,
Pretend.
and famously from the Minecraft movie trailer,
I don't think
now
that's
beloved
what I-
by children the world over.
Those
I think Katie's right about this. I think
Kids
now.
now
Right,
love
right,
Time to
right,
Pretend.
right,
No,
right,
the MGMT's had its generational moment.
song.
It's
a
a
good
great
song.
song.
I love the second album, which is the one that everyone kind of slept
That
on.
was when everyone was like, we're out.
I know, it's the good one. It's
Congratulations
the fucking Pet
is
Sounds.
really
It
solid.
The one with the
rules,
like
right?
optical illusion cover.
Well, there were different. There was a scratch-off cover for the vinyl release.
It's Trapper. It's
Wow.
Trapper Keeper.
It's very
vibes.
Trapper
Yeah.
Keeper.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I
a
remember.
surfing-
Feels about right.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen, and they're disappointed.
Yes.
And they are coming up to this point where it's like, okay, do we like strip To the White Sea down to the tax
Right.
and try to reconstitute it as something that's going to be cheaper or whatever? Or do we fucking do something else?
Do we bury it? Do we move on so we don't keep getting hung up and losing years of our lives trying to make this?
At this point, Pitt has moved on, but they had Clooney attached to Intolerable Cruelty. I mean, to The White Sea.
Okay.
And he's the one who's like, why don't we just fucking make Intolerable Cruelty? Look at this script.
Well, because Universal has pushed that to him as a potential star vehicle.
It's like, and it's just there.
Makes perfect
he's
sense
And
like,
for
the
him.
Coens
they're
are like,
into
we
this.
have always liked this script. Like,
Yeah.
Clooney's response, by the way, now having worked with the Coen brothers, they send him the script. He's like, can I read the Coen's draft?
Oh.
Everything I've heard is that the Coen's draft, like
he
10
went to
years ago,
Universal and was
Ah.
like, can you dig that up?
that was the one that everyone got so excited about. Can I go back and read that? He reads that and he's like, I would do this.
Mhm.
He goes to them. JJ has the quote in there, but Carter Burwell basically says that within the same week, they called him to say, unfortunately, To the White Sea is dead. And then like 3 days later said, we're going to make Intolerable Cruelty.
I
Like,
hope
it
we get a
was
chance to talk about Carter Burwell because he is on fire on this
unbelievable.
movie.
Carter
So good.
Burwell lit himself on fire with, what was it, Blood Simple? Like, what's the first movie? And
He's been running on
Yeah.
fire.
Right. Has
Ever
been
since.
just one of those guys walking around on fire and like ever since.
Incredible score that I think has never been released. You cannot
Oh.
find
This one,
I
Intolerable
think-
Cruelty. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
like, like if I called Universal, they'd be like, what?
That movie, we didn't make that movie.
your phone would explode.
So,
but yes,
Clooney's attached.
It's suddenly like super fast tracked, and Burwell was like, it felt like a breakup rebound thing of
Because
them. just
Clooney is
being
as
like,
hot as he can possibly be at this point.
He's hot stuff, although we're going to talk about his career in a second because he's in a little moment. He's having a little moment here.
But post Oceans in 2001, I do think there is a feeling of he's cracked it 100%.
Mhm.
Right? The irony, of course, is that Clooney never is able to replicate mainstream crossover movie star in the pocket outside of the Oceans trilogy in the way he did there. But in that moment, I think they were like, he's crossed it all.
But you're forgetting the run it's really impressive after Batman and Robin, so like we all love Batman and Robin, and then Peacemaker, which like did okay. You've got like Out of Sight, which it just does okay, but is such a smash critically.
Which is the movie star persona. Like, that's where he figures it out. Like,
100%.
that's the start
And
of
then
it.
Three Kings, which does pretty good and again gets amazing reviews. And then Perfect Storm, Oh Brother, Ocean's 11.
No, I know.
It's pretty nuts.
But not Oh Brother. I'm sorry. Ocean's 11 is one of the 10 highest grossing films of the year.
You're not going to beat Ocean's 11.
And even
You're
in this
never
big
gonna do that
ensemble
again.
thing, you were like,
Yes.
this guy's undeniable. He's taking the Cary Grant mantle. I think that's a lot of the feeling.
Totally.
He's now the mayor
It's
of
just
Hollywood.
slap a tux on this guy and we'll want it. But what does he want to make? He wants to make an out-and-out comedy. It's funny that he's saying that because it's like he did make Oh Brother, but I guess Oh Brother is like such an odd movie.
Right.
But
Yeah.
he's like, can I fucking make a comedy? He's also editing Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which of course he directed.
Yeah.
And he's finishing work on Solaris, Steven Soderbergh's film, The Laugh Riot of 2002. Which is, I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's a gloomy film. Let us say.
Let us say.
And so I'm sure he wants to shake the sillies out a little bit, right? Like he's like, let me, be a buffoon again for the Coens.
Yeah.
And I think this is interesting. This is from a Vanity Fair piece 2003.
I did not work
I know
there
you
then.
didn't work
David
there
is
then.
gesturing
I
towards
know.
Kate.
did
I
work
did,
there
I did
for
not
many
work. Yeah,
years.
I did.
Where he says, he's like, it is kind of a terrifying thing to do because this could be so bad. Like when
Sure.
you're reading the script, this rat-a-tat, this screwball thing, where like, I have to go for it, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to have to give like a really big performance. And he does, and it
Yes.
rocks, but it could be
He's
so like, ooh,
incredible in this.
Yes.
But it's not like he's doing anything that silly. Like he's not the big
He's
goofy
pretty
character.
silly.
I mean, there's
No.
I guess he wears a kilt, but like, the Baron and all those other side characters are doing so much of the heightened stuff, and
Yes.
he's in the like locked in Cary Grant mode.
It's just very stylized.
Yes.
It's a stylized
Yeah.
performance, which speaks to why audiences bumped on this movie in general. Of
Yeah.
like, what is this weird thing going on here without it having the clear signposts of being a period piece,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
more stylized. Yeah.
Rumor has it top choice for this movie is Julia Roberts.
Makes perfect sense.
Obviously, Clooney has literally just worked with her twice,
Yes.
Oceans and Confessions.
Yeah.
They're pals.
Mhm.
But Catherine Zeta-Jones has just won her Oscar,
sure has.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Although I have to imagine, was this filmed after that?
It must have been.
But
Well,
Chicago
no,
was
she
such an
won the
obviously
Chicago
hot thing.
Oscar like March 2003.
In 03.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. When
Yeah,
was
no,
this
this film's after Chicago's done, but it filmed in June 2002.
Oh, wild.
Mm-hmm.
But they knew that
They knew.
she was gonna
I mean, they knew
hit
she
big
was
with
good in
Chicago.
it.
Yeah.
And they all had a great time with her.
Chicago did feel like did you hear that Chicago's good?
Mm.
Like it was not
100%.
seen as an Oscar contender until like October.
Because it was supposed to be Kings of New York, right?
Right. And people were just like, that can't be good.
Mm. And
It is crazy that it came in and just fucking like elbowed Marty out of the way. And who's the
Mhm.
other? There's two big
the
pianists.
Hours.
Hours.
Well, pianist came on late. It was the Hours,
and
I guess.
Two
Right.
Towers is
And
that
Two
year, right?
Towers.
Right,
Those were the
which
five.
everyone
Yeah.
was sort of like,
Wait your
hold.
turn. We'll get there.
Like, hold.
And that's the year where is every Best Picture nominee
What-
produced by either
It's-
Rudin or Weinstein?
It's all
Except
Weinstein.
for
The
Lord
Hours
of the Rings,
is the
I
one
think.
Rudin.
And
No,
Lord-
but Weinstein has his name on it. on
Oh,
Lord of the
That's the
right.
thing.
Yeah.
That he still had his
He
name
did a lot
with
of work.
the
Yeah.
credit.
Right, and his name is on it because he fired Peter Jackson or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck. But
Nice
right.
work if you can get.
He didn't I think Weinstein's involvement with Chicago was low, but it was
It was a Miramax release.
movie.
Yes, it was.
Gangsta New York was obviously the Weinstein one where
Yeah.
he actually gets a nomination for that one.
Yes.
And then I do think he had something to do with the pianist as well.
Oh, I don't
They released
Maybe
it.
not.
Or no.
no,
know. The pianist was
But I
somebody
think it
else.
did
The
have something to
pianist
do with
was,
it. Am I
um,
wrong?
fucking who even released the pianist?
Focus?
No.
Canal Plus producer.
Yeah, I think it was,
Wikipedia is
you
really
know.
not coming through on this one.
Yeah, who knows? Who can say? It's a mystery. We'll never know. Anyway, they had a great time making this movie. The Coens did very little press. JJ's apologizing. I don't know why you need to apologize to me. I don't employ you because you're fired. Apparently, they were already shooting The Lady Killers when this movie came out.
Okay.
So I guess they didn't do much press.
Mm-hmm.
They liked that it was set in the present. Cool.
Cool.
Roger Deakins was coming off shooting House of Sand and Fog, another laugh riot.
Pianist was released by Focus.
Yes.
There you go. Carter Burwell says he settled on a Mancini Mancini approach, lighthearted 60s jazz pop.
And it's a classic him reappropriating other music into the score beautifully, much like Hudsucker.
And the film premiered. And I would say this is mistake number one at the Venice International Film Festival.
Oh, wow.
Out of competition as a work in progress, which is
I
insane.
wouldn't have done that.
I think it was still missing a scene or
Does
two.
it come out October?
And then it came out in October. Like, do not release this in October.
Yeah, put it out
This
in
is
the
a spring or summer movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's a light rom-com.
But this speaks to them not knowing, like, is this a straight down the middle play and we're hiding the ball on Cohen's weirdness?
Yeah.
Right.
Or do we want some level of, like, Cohen's prestige?
Yeah. But it looks like America's Sweethearts or some other kind of modern day rom-com. So getting that prestige, even getting the Cohen's people on board, I think is challenging because you look at the poster for it, you're like, I know what that is.
The most generic poster in the world.
Yeah.
They take this beautiful two-shot.
They're standing next to each other.
Well, there's this beautiful two-shot of, like, just
Few can
incredible
imagine.
movie star glow of Clooney and Zeta-Jones in
the elevator? Yeah.
A scene that is, like, thrown off its hump by a dog biting his hand and a bunch of funny dialogue,
Funny
right?
stuff.
And they just, like, screenshot that
Yeah.
and then remove the elevator and put them in front of the most generic
Just
blue cloud
trees or whatever.
style.
Right.
Sky, yeah.
What can I tell you?
Font is bad.
The font's
too.
bad.
Mhm.
Do you guys like the actual opening credit? You know, the sort of
Love it.
Vegas-y,
Suspicious Minds.
right? You
Yeah.
know, the
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
cupids and the hearts. Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yes.
Do the
It's like
Coens
Monty
go-
Python, Flying Circus.
very-
Yes.
yes.
I think they got opening title sequences. I didn't like go through enough of my
I would not
rewatch.
say so, but this is a movie that demands it. I would say.
This is
Yeah.
their most. I'm trying to think of other films of theirs that have kind of like
I mean,
standalone
they'll crush
opening
it.
Yeah,
credit
because like Hudsucker, you go
sequences.
through the city, but that's like the set. So
I mean,
Yes.
like Raising Arizona has the like unbelievable like yodeling,
Right.
like title rushing at you. They'll
Yeah.
crush an opening title.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't usually.
But this
do that.
kind of sequence.
yes.
Yeah, having like a cold open and then cutting to the title like makes sense for them, but like the Cupids felt new.
The movie
And even just this movie opening with like, what is Jeffrey Rush doing in this? How does this factor into the plot? It takes so long to circle back in any way.
Yeah,
My thing with this movie is I see it when it comes out, I think it's great, and I'm immediately like the only fan of it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's quickly forgotten. And then over the years, I will show it to anyone I date, any pal of mine, because they're always like, I just want to watch something light. And I'm like, have I got a light movie for you? The Coen brothers made a rom-com with
Hidden
George
gem.
Clooney. Do
Yeah.
you want to watch it? Every single one of them. It starts with the Jeffrey Rush thing, and they're just like, okay.
The fuck is
And
this?
it loses them
Why
and
is he
never
being
gets them back.
impaled in the butt with a Golden Globe?
and screaming bitch at
Or
a
is it
car
Emmy?
to drive. It's a
know-
God no. It's
No,
like
it's a
not an
cable-
Emmy. It's like a not a
It's
cable
his
Ace award. I think it's a
daytime
made up
lifetime
award.
achievement. It's a made up
Yeah.
award.
Okay.
But like, and then like, Clooney's here and they're doing and I'm like, listen to this rat-a-tat dialogue. And they're just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it's never worked on anyone I've ever shown
It's
it to.
wild.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Or am I the fool?
I mean, I said the thing about Jeffrey Rush earlier. Like, I don't think it's that he's bad, but it's off-putting.
doing the
He's
assignment.
off-putting, and there's something about that sequence being like, oh, he caught his wife sleeping with the pool guy. Like, oh, I kind of get what this is. Like the Coen twist on it takes time to merge. I think you need a name like Rexroth and like the
Yes.
train stuff. Like the sequence later where it's him, driving with the girl in the hotel room and Cedric the Entertainer busts in. Like all the train stuff is so funny and specific. And the Jeffrey Rush stuff
Yes.
feels more generic. Oh, Hollywood divorce kind of thing. I think that's part of the challenge.
would
of that
agree.
I
opening.
think you're right.
It's
I mean,
very
there's no
broad.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of non-specific.
It felt pretty grounded
Yeah.
to me. I don't know what you mean. Kind of earthy.
And you're sort of like, what does this have to do with anything?
Yeah.
And the
It
answer
makes
is
sense they need this big of an opening credit sequence because you kind of need to like palette reset immediately.
Yeah.
you've also, it's like, you need to understand that this guy, Jeffrey Rush, like nailed his wife in flagrante so hard, and yet Miles Massey like took him for everything.
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
like
the
this guy is unbeatable.
When you
Yes.
get Clooney in there and being like, well, and we assume that he beat you or that he was trying to sleep with the pool guy or whatever, like
Who's-
that's the tone is coming into place.
Who's the lady? She's very funny.
I
She's
can't
got a great
remember.
face.
Yes.
I'll look her up.
I meant to look her up also.
But yeah,
Stacey Travis. Is
but the movie doesn't resume with them
Nope.
in court.
Nope.
No.
It just kind of jumps ahead and you understand that is another battle he won. I
Yes.
do love this setup of just this guy is so fucking good at divorce law that he's bored, right?
Yeah.
That he can just pull off anything. You can see how thoroughly the deck is stacked against the guy.
I think it's great. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's so funny. It's like, right, like he's done it all. He's done the hardest thing. So then when Edward Herrmann shows up, by the way, Edward Herrmann also hitting threes left and right.
Chugga chugga choo choo.
So funny. And is basically like, hi, like I cheat on my wife all the time.
Right.
She's caught me doing it.
Yes.
I don't have a prenup.
Right.
And I have been married to her
he
for
tries
years.
to use the open marriage excuse.
Right.
Was that talked about? Was it agreed upon?
Well, Clooney's like, you want to like put
And,
your
like,
unoffending
just-
wife out on her
And,
ass.
and
he's
you
like, is that
propose
an option?
she have her taught, and Clooney's
You see his
basically
eyes
like,
light up. So
that's
just to get this
so
straight,
obscene. I
Right.
guess I could try.
in spite of demonstrable infidelity.
Infidelity on your
Well, that's
part, you
part of what-
propose your
With Clooney's performance, I thought so much of Fantastic Mr. Fox because it's a
yes,
similar rat-a-tat
yes.
vibe, and they're like, "Oh, what's left for me in my life?" Like
Yeah.
it really feels like Wes Anderson saw this movie and was like, "That's a thing."
That's a really good
Can
call.
he, now that Clooney just did a Bombeck and is, whatever, seems to be sort of getting limber again.
Oh, it's
Can
coming.
he do a Wes? Can I have live action Wes?
Ooh,
It would be so
Clunes?
great.
It would be really
Make it
good.
happen.
You know, the whole thing with Fantastic Mr. Fox is that he didn't record them in booths.
Oh
He
yeah, they were like
brought
running around
the
in circles
whole
in the
cast to, like,
grass.
his home,
Yeah.
and they acted out the whole movie on like mini DV cameras, and he pulled that audio, so you can see there's like
He's so
90
good.
minutes of Clooney acting through all of Fantastic Mr.
Yeah,
Fox.
he's like doing somersaults in
in a
like
backyard.
yard. Yeah.
And they'll show those clips sometimes, and I'm like, can you please put that full cut out
Right.
there?
I want that
Yes.
now.
Oh my
Right.
God.
But I'm just like, they're a great match.
Oh, totally.
He rocks in Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yes.
Like, give me more of that, please. Can I have Clunes?
agree.
Yep.
I think we're just also generally, we've just been for years saying, hey, George, how about you direct fewer movies?
Be a movie star, which you are better at than anyone alive.
So let's just touch on Clooney. No, we've done Clooney before, obviously. And we
Yeah.
just did Oh Brother, and we will be doing Burn and Hail Caesar. And
Yes.
what else have we done over the year? Well,
We
done
did the
our
Oceans.
Oceans on Patreon. We did Batman and Robin on Patreon.
You guys have been avoiding Soderbergh.
Tomorrowland.
We're not avoiding him. It's
You
just hard.
did Tomorrowland.
Yeah, we did Tomorrowland,
Wow.
which is not a. He's not bad in it or anything, but it's such an odd performance because he's so depressed.
Y'all haven't done Money Monster? No Money Monster fans in here?
We haven't done Money
I did that on This Hot Oscar Buzz. I will defend that movie. It's
Really?
It's not great.
Yeah.
But,
That movie
there's
would
stuff
be good,
there.
but I mean, it's just the most crucial performance is one of the worst screen performances I've ever seen
Which is-
from a good actor or a sometimes good actor.
The Jack O'Connor?
Jack,
He's so horrible.
Really? I've still never seen
it
it.
just ruins the
Jack
movie.
O'Connell's coming back.
He's
Now's
back.
the time to reappraise him.
Yeah, well, then he should
Then leave
like
Money Monster out
expunge
of it.
that movie.
You should pay to have
Because
that movie
he
wiped
is a
off
good
of hard
actor
drive.
Yes.
in other things. He's so off in that movie.
Yeah.
I remember nothing about Clooney. I remember Julia being good in it.
Yeah.
But
they're both
a
good.
bit of a boring role, but
Mhm.
like, anyway.
But it does feel like the last 10 years, every time he's been like, I'm ready to do the movie star thing again, he's kind of picked wrong. Like it's Money Monster, Tomorrowland. All these look good on paper.
Ticket to Paradise, which I
Yes.
feel like everyone was so forgiving of because they were like, well, this is what we want you
It's
to
a
do.
real
Yes.
wet
Yes.
blanket of a movie.
But everyone was like, okay.
I watched it on a plane, which is its natural
Wolf- And
even
environment.
still, it's
it's-
Wolves didn't even get that treatment. Had it been released in theaters, people might have again kind of been like, we appreciate you trying.
Did you like Wolves? I never saw it.
So bad.
Okay.
I think it really stinks.
I watched it after months of everyone telling me how hard it stunk. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is totally scratching the itch. What's everyone talking about? And then it ended. And immediately I was like, that sucked.
Yep.
Like, I was kind of riding along with it the whole time in cruise altitude and was like, whatever. It's bad oceans,
fine,
right?
yeah.
And then it ends and you're like, that was nothing.
It really
What
is
a
nothing.
waste of
And it
everyone's
has,
time
like,
and energy.
The audacity to be like, well, maybe Wolves 2 is coming. And you're like, don't fucking
If
piss
you
off my
ever
leg.
ditch your theatrical
Tell me
release.
it's raining. Like,
Gonna huff and puff and tell me you'll blow this house down.
and indeed, he's just been making his own films.
Yeah, he's in Midnight Sky, to his credit. It's terrible. but
No credit will be assigned for
I mean,
the
we want him
Midnight
to be
Sky.
in his own movies.
But you're like, do you?
Yeah.
The thing
That's
about the Midnight
problem.
Sky is you
You're like,
watch it
awful.
and you're like, I can't believe this isn't the worst movie George Clooney has directed. And like, I never saw The Boys in the Boat. I do
Yeah.
need to see those boys.
I did never see The Boys.
The
The
quiet
Tender
hit.
Bar was one of those things where I'm like, hey, you got to a C-. Like,
Yeah.
this, something's happening where you're improving a a little. That movie was watchable.
But
I assume Boys in the Boat is
Affleck
similar.
is throwing smokers.
He's really good in that.
In Tender Bar, and
that's
you're
what he
like,
does.
he'd be getting an Oscar nomination if this movie weren't directed by George Clooney.
Possibly. And also, it was one of those, pandemic movies that went right to streaming where it's like, you're not going to.
But Affleck's great in it.
I remember
really good
the
at it.
year that Suburbicon was at TIFF, and David, you talked to Clooney then, because I think he was trying to go around being like, look,
It was
I'm George Clooney, I directed a movie.
No, but it was like the pre-release apology. Let me explain.
Basically, they're like trying to like tell you why his movie actually isn't that bad.
It is one of my favorite, my
movie
single favorite things that
sucks.
came out in the Sony hacks was his email to Amy Pascal after the first completed screening of Monuments Men,
Right.
where he's like, Amy, what can I say? Sometimes you miss. I'm sorry, you gave me a bunch of money, you entrusted me. Sometimes the elements just don't come together. We're all embarrassed by this one. We're going to hold our heads high and march forward. And you're like, he fucked up Monuments Men? And when that movie was announced on paper, you were like, unquestionable B-.
Such a sleepy movie. Like, that one at least made money. Shockingly made
Shockingly.
money.
Well, because Ides of March was right before that, and that movie was that a B-? I don't remember it that well. I felt like we received it
I
okay.
despise that movie.
Okay.
He was literally nominated for an Academy Award for writing it.
Yeah.
One of the most charitable Oscar nominations I've ever seen.
I think it was charitably
a rough Oscar
treated
year.
like a B- when
Yes,
it's
it
more
was.
of a C+.
Yeah.
It is an F. That movie
If you
is
watch-
really
sucks.
rancid.
Would you like
Yes.
it now, having seen
No.
Midnight Sky and
No,
Suburbicon?
no.
Okay.
Ides of March is worse because it like really thinks it's smart. Like, and it's
yeah.
like this is a really, really sophisticated political thriller. And it's like really, it's got kind of nasty, it's a bad movie.
Okay.
If anything, we were maybe a little kinder to it in the moment because you were like, look, Leatherheads was a mistake.
Yeah.
He's getting back to the kind of thing he should be making.
Well, because he was on Good Night and Good Luck for such a long time, of being like, look,
right.
that movie worked.
It's not as good as Good Night and Good Luck, but he's back in his area.
Yep.
And now you're just like, the guy lost it and he was never getting it back.
He got a lot. I mean, for
because
him to say that-
Leatherheads
It's
in
a terrible
2008
movie. I saw
but
that
is
movie.
also that, the occasional Hail Mary you see someone throw of like, can we do kind of a Preston Sturges thing?
Yeah, like
It's
you're throwing a football as you.
And like Leatherheads also is bad.
Yeah.
But beyond it being bad, it's like also, even if you make a good one, audiences are mostly just going to be like, I don't
Your old timey
want this.
foosball love triangle.
I'm just doing this kind of like, take the ball. Come
Yeah.
on. You want it?
Yeah.
Come on.
And John Krasinski got to continue being a movie star after that,
And
despite that.
It feels
The
like
whole thing with
Clooney was
Clooney-
one of the big people pushing the Krasinski project for a long time.
I think so. Well, he's a voice in If. I'm looking at his
Yes,
IMDb.
he is.
I
Like,
forgot
yeah,
all about that.
I think Krasinski's really good at making friends. I'm not saying Krasinski has no talent, but he's really, because I hear a lot about really respected people who love John Krasinski, and I'm always like, really?
But also,
I think
there
he's
was
a
like
nice,
10 to 15 years of Damon and Clooney being like, we're telling you Krasinski is the next one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed
Promised
to go
Land.
a long way.
Yep.
Yes, we're writing movies with him.
Yeah.
We're casting him. We think he's got the goods to be a multi-tool player. I just want to call out the single greatest movie to play in Cinematrix.
Oh, because everybody's in it.
Because it has
Oh, yeah.
20
Mhm.
A-list voice actors with one sentence.
Yep.
I implore all of our listeners
Yep.
to look up the character posters for If.
There's like 40 of them.
That's all you need to memorize is just the character posters.
Yeah. Because there's just that one scene where I have seen the motion picture If. I saw it in theaters. And they all just come in for a hot second. Or Clooney might be in like the post credits. No, it's Brad Pitt who shows up at the
Yes.
very, very end as like a silent character.
But you play a Pitt,
Clooney's
Damon,
a spaceman.
or Clooney
Yep.
If on Cinematrix.
No one
You
else
are
is gonna get it.
guaranteed 1, if not 0%.
Maybe I got to get back into Cinematrix.
You do.
I've let it fall off. So, but Clooney, what's interesting about Clooney is he just had that run that I just shouted out, right? The sort of late 90s, early 2000s. He did it after, of course, being a star on the biggest TV show in America, which is, not chopped
small
liver
thing.
either. And then it's like Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which is a niche movie. It's pretty good.
Like it all.
Solaris, which is a huge bomb
Uh-huh.
and is a masterpiece according to like 8 people, one of whom is me. Intolerable Cruelty, Ocean's 12,
Mhm.
and then like 1 year later he does Good Night and Good Luck in Syriana and wins the Oscar.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things of like, okay, good job.
Right.
You won an Oscar.
Yes.
You gave a fatuous speech that everyone kind of made fun of, but like you won an Oscar.
Right. Smuggler.
But doesn't it kind of feel like it's like over
A little bit.
right there. Like it's like he still makes Ocean's 13, Michael Clayton. He makes good movies.
Michael Clayton is a big
but it's a new era. Like it's like now it's like gray hair Clooney.
Yeah.
Like he's already kind of gone away from whatever this little era was, the out of sight to sort of intolerable.
I think the next era is it's Descendants, Up in the Air, and Gravity,
The American, which he's good in.
I remember that release.
Burn After Reading, obviously. But Michael Clayton.
The big three for me, the three best actor nominations of Michael Clayton, Up in the Air, and Descendants are like, he cut his quote to nothing.
Right.
He worked with a younger or rising auteur.
Right.
And he like pushed the movie to like Best Picture, Best Director status, got a Best Actor nomination.
He did it 3 times.
All 3 times people were like, is he going to win a second acting Oscar? Because he was sort of so in his movie star pocket.
Right.
And all 3 of those movies become like crossover.
Cable classics.
Middlebrow hits.
Yep.
But also like Up in the Air, 80 domestic. Descendants, like 70 domestic.
Yep.
Michael Clayton, 60 domestic. It was like, he is willing to like cut his quote to like $2 million and make a movie a crossover. That felt like a kind of good period for him.
It's a somewhat distinct era. Don't you think?
Yes.
Like it's distinct from that first one.
And it's almost
I feel like it ends with like Tomorrowland.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And I'd say, which is like him trying to make a more traditional
Hail Caesar.
tentpole again.
Right.
Yeah, because Money Monster coming out the same year as Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar,
and like
Money
it
Monster
just doesn't exist.
That's the true epilogue.
That's the end.
But like Hail
And then
Caesar, Gravity, those are like sort of like, I'll do a supporting role to help out a project kind of things.
Right.
But you're right that all of these roles are now like kind of postmodern Clooney movie star persona where he's playing the sad over-the-hill version of himself.
The totem you build the movie around, being like, this movie is aware of his star persona. It has to
and we're
exist to make this movie. Yeah, exactly.
We're like showing that maybe this guy's kind of broken inside.
Doesn't Casamigos
So I was about to say
way into this?
No, so I have exactly for you.
In 2013.
No, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. Hail Caesar, Money Monster, 2016. He sold the company, Casamigos, little tequila operation he has going on with his buddy. They ride motorcycles.
House of Friends.
Wear jackets. In 2017. I interview him.
It's sold, you said. Okay.
He sold it in 2017. I interview him in 2017 for Suburbicon. And he says very blankly, like, I have more money than God. Like, I mean, he doesn't say exactly that, but he's basically like, from now on, if I am in something or if I'm making something, it is only because I'm interested in it. Hollywood can give me nothing, like money-wise.
And then I
have so much money.
You look at the CV from that point on, and you're like, so you were exclusively interested in boring
so you have
dog
shitty
shit.
taste, huh? But like, it truly is. He's basically, and I appreciate in theory because all the movies he made are, not franchise movies.
Yeah.
He's making original stuff, like yada. It's like in theory, I'm like, cool, thank you, good job. But it's just they're all bad.
Is he a blank check director?
Sure, the worst.
You guys are gonna have a great time on that
one
series.
Who makes bad movies.
Are you aware that he was in a limited series version of Catch-22?
Of course,
that doesn't sound right. That can't be right.
He directed the entire thing. He went to every streamer because that was Hulu.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Midnight Sky was Netflix. Tender Bar was Amazon.
Yep.
And I swear there's an Apple one in there too.
Wolves. Boys in the Boat was Amazon MGM.
Yes, that was also Amazon. Like he went to hopped around the streamers collecting bags of money to give him C+, C+. Everybody, take your C+.
No, Catch-22 was him and Grant Heslov wrote and directed, and he was going to play the lead, and at the last second he decided he was too old, so he cast Christopher Abbott, and he plays...
Shai Scoff. He plays a smaller role.
Right.
But he, Big Cat, Kyle Chandler and Louis Pullman and lots
doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
I
mean, and if I'm Clooney, I can be like, well, the pandemic, you can sort of, but it's like not just the pandemic. You have, he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
When I interviewed him, he's so smart. He's married to this, genius. He's like political, yada yada. But like, I'm like, yeah, but he's kind of middlebrow. Like
he is.
And it's like when he was picking your Up in the Airs, your Descendants, those are middlebrow movies.
Yeah.
Even Michael Clayton, they're just like really good ones. I mean, Descendants is just okay. And
that was
Up
in
the Air,
he was making like incredible, intelligent adult popcorn.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's like he's making unseasoned vegetables every time.
Yes. He's just boiling some broccoli.
But like pureeing. He's like pureeing boiled unseasoned.
Does he have bad taste? Because he works with so many good
medium
people.
taste.
I guess so.
And then he's smart enough. look, I don't know. I have great taste, in my opinion.
Can you direct Boys in the Boat
Probably.
better?
No, but I'm saying like, and if you're like, here, you have unlimited money and clout, David, what do you want to make? I'd probably make a bunch of dog shit. I'm not that, like, you have to be a certain kind of person. And I do think pressure helps.
Yes.
You know, like, it's better to be under pressure. Clooney's under no pressure.
Uh-huh.
So, like, that's probably kind of bad in a way.
Let's also call out, on top of the fucking Casamigos money.
Yeah.
He's
also already rich, we should point out.
Right. Already rich, but also Gravity.
Mm-hmm.
The FX budget was so huge on that movie, and it was developed to be Angelina Jolie and Robert Downey Jr., and they both drop out late.
Right.
And when he goes to Bullock and Clooney, he's like, I can't offer you money because the money's all on screen. You both get back end. I believe Clooney got tens of millions of dollars for that movie.
I think he made a ton of money for
Sandra
that
Bullock
movie.
made like $100 million.
I hope she made
on
more,
Gravity.
yeah.
Well, I mean, Sandra Bullock made, again, the kind of money where you're like, huh, she just kind of stopped making movies, huh?
Right.
Like, because she just doesn't
That's
know.
always what I want to happen for, especially for
I
actresses.
truly think she made 100. And I think she did.
I mean, it was a huge
How much
hit.
money did the movie
he
make?
It made like
30 or 40.
750 million thousand.
How about the moon?
The moon got a lot.
The moon, they had to shoot it at it with a big cannon. The money, they shot a big
Spread,
bag of
it's
money
in
at
orbit
it.
around the moon as we
right.
speak.
No, it was such a big hit, and because it was seen as so risky, they offered them so much of first dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's defend Intolerable Cruelty.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So we go, Jeffrey Rush, extended sequence, and then we go to Edward Herrmann, who loves
Trains.
Most trains.
Do we think he has a full, like, the trains have to be involved for him to get it up? There's this sort of like quiet acknowledgement of like trains are involved with sex.
I mean, what's
for
his
him.
line he
Like,
says to Clooney where it's like,
trains.
she lets me be myself?
Yes. Oh, he's so happy about it, too.
God, he's so funny.
But there's weird sex stuff before that, too, because you see Clooney in the courtroom with the woman who's like, and he built devices with my vacuum cleaner.
That's the separate.
Which is
that's
like a
funny.
preview of Burn After
I was
Reading
gonna
with
say.
a sex machine.
One of the
Yeah.
greatest
Yes. I mean,
slow burn bits of all time.
but also it just feels very Coen's of like, right, let's cast the most milquetoast middle-aged lady with like big hair and glasses and have her be like, I was his sexual slave, you know, while like Clooney and Paul Adelstein are just like bickering with each other.
It's
and
also the
touring
kind
it,
of thing
you know.
that the Coens love to just like come in on. Is just like, it's so funny that there's just this fucking whatchamacallit, the typist, the court stenographer.
Oh, yeah. When she comes in later being like, do you want a milk bone? Woof, woof, or whatever it is.
But there's just like, if that didn't exist, the Coens would create it. That you're like, so you're telling me some disaffected
Someone can
middle-aged
just
woman
read it out.
has
Yes.
to just sit there at a typewriter and type up every insane thing said in a courtroom.
Thinking of the woman in the courtroom in this one, I'm thinking of the woman in the trailer park in No Country for Old Men. Are they the best at like middle-aged women with dowdy hair just being
Flat affect.
hilarious?
It's
giving
vital
nothing.
to their,
Yes.
it's their gestalt or whatever.
yeah,
Yes. I mean,
it's essential to them.
but also, I guess they've never made a legal movie before, right? I'm thinking, you know, like the courtroom is a great venue for them to be silly.
Yeah.
in the
Yes.
Coens. And all of the courtroom scenes in this movie are so funny.
Yeah.
Poetry recitation, objection, Your Honor, strangling the witness. I'm going to allow it. Like stuff like that. Of course,
So broad.
just like this sort of get smart joke of like Heinz the Baron Cross von Espy, and then the bailiffs keep opening doors and announcing it further and further and further.
Let's also call out Katey.
She specifically said a silly man. I love that. Who's that guy?
Yeah, who was that
That's
guy?
fucking, what's his name? Jonathan Hardesty?
Yes, you're right. Jonathan Hadery.
Yes.
Hadery.
He's the lawyer in fucking Margaret.
Oh.
Mm.
He's the guy who
You're right.
runs all the prisons, the for-profit prison monger in Veep.
Right? Yeah,
Oh.
he's did a bunch
Whose
of Veeps.
daughter is Mary Holland, who Tim Simons gets hooked up with.
Sure.
Okay.
He's like in 1,000 things. He
Right, he's
looks
got a ton of
so
credits.
different in this than everything else that I always
does.
forget it's him. Because
But
he's
he's got
usually
the eyes. He
He
always has those eyes. But you're
Yeah.
right. He's
he usually plays a kind of like rumpled menschy.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's so fucking funny in
he's
this.
so good. But Katie, you alluded to this, but the introduction of Clooney is through his teeth,
Oh my
right?
God, it's
Yes.
so
that
good.
were hard and true to him
Right, because like
in
oh brother, it's his hair, here it's his teeth.
the bleaching,
Yes.
right? I just like this immediate, like, we're dealing with the ultimate movie star.
Yeah.
And we're starting out by showing you how the sausage gets made of like how much work goes into making this guy look like this.
And it helps balance the scales of the women and the plastic surgery, I think, because I do like the way that it gets at like rich Hollywood people, like that part of it like works less well to me, like the women sitting by the pool and talking about their liposuction and stuff like that. Like that again feels more broad and Coensy, but having that emphasis on Clooney, I think helps balance it out. And like the pan to his like movie star smile and the score, swells as he's standing at the desk. Like it brings it back to being something
using
more than just
Suspicious
cynical.
Minds into the score.
It's so good.
It's so good, and it's just like it gives you a drum roll. So when you get to the full reveal of Clooney's full face, because we're seeing him in the chair first, then we're seeing him in the car where the reflection is that you're only seeing the teeth and nothing else, and you're just seeing him test out the teeth in the rear view mirror and everything. It feels so satisfying when you're getting the full Clooney burst, but I also like that it's kind of a everyone wants to be Clark Gable, even me thing. This guy is a construction. These people are constructions.
Yep.
No one is just like this.
Yeah.
And these people are very caught up in their reputation and their mythology and the Massey prenup and all these things. And then we're just seeing him, right? He's an ultimate conqueror, but he's so bored. He can barely get it up for this stuff
He's torn down his house twice just for fun. We
never see his house, do we?
He has a tab at the Mercedes dealership. We don't think we ever see his house.
Wait, no, it's at the end. That's where the house invasion is, because she's in his house, isn't she?
There.
Yeah.
And you see his tennis court.
Right.
But like he's a person with no interests. He's only good at this.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
He's created, of course, an unbreakable prenup agreement that is like legally profound,
which
right?
I just think is like a perfect screwball
Great
thing
device,
of just like you come up with the idea of something that is so important and so huge that you will never break down and explain.
Right.
They never get into what makes the Massey prenup so good.
If you tear a piece of paper, does that render it legally invalid?
In this movie,
it's
does.
Unclear to me if that's real.
But that's why Richard Jenkins putting it all in the briefcase and running away is really funny. You're like, he's gonna tape it up.
So funny.
The Massey prenup. But then also we should acknowledge Edward Herrman is busted by a camera crew led by Gus Petch.
Gus Petch, played by Cedric the Entertainer, who's like firmly in his early post barbershop, kind of original Kings of Comedy, where it's just like, get this guy in movies. 10 minutes of Cedric, please.
Yes.
Yep.
Like
he's gonna nail your ass.
And like you're ordering at and then you're like, and you know what? 10 minutes of Cedric. Have him in there.
Gus Petch likes doing one thing.
Nail an ass.
He's
an ass and he nails it.
Yes.
Man, I would have kicked his ass if he busted in on me.
You would have nailed his ass for trying to nail your ass?
I would have took that camera and I would have fucking nailed his ass with it.
I do love, this is the only period where it would still be like an over the shoulder. It's less fun if it's a stupid cell phone.
And it needs to have a huge light glaring on that poor woman in her underwear.
But you're right. It is a thing that I think people couldn't verbalize at the time, where they were like, how can this movie exist in a modern reality TV landscape, but yet everyone is talking like they are in the Great Depression?
Right. Yeah, which... It makes perfect. Like, it's fine if you want to set that up, but like getting people to actually buy into it without actually seeing it is the hard part.
Yes.
Yes, he successfully defends Rexroth.
Rexroth.
This is also Edward Herrman, of course, is like right in the middle of his sweetie run on Gilmore Girls, so it's fun to see him be a rascal.
Yeah.
And even though Marilyn, Catherine Zeta-Jones, is ostensibly in the right, basically, they've got the great showdown with Richard Jenkins. That's the
Kirshner's in Kentucky.
Kirshner's in Kentucky. Are you nuts? Have you forgotten Kirshner?
This was the scene. I'd watched the movies a couple days ago, and my girlfriend was disappointed because she was like, "Oh, I've never seen that one." And I was like, "I just watched it. Can I just show you the one scene? So like, show you the thing that no one gets, and I think you'll lock into it immediately." And I just showed her this one scene, and it's just like a 3-minute symphony of dialogue.
Yep.
It is basically just two shots.
Yes.
Reverse.
Yes.
Right around a table. Just on fire.
Yeah.
Just like precision swish watch timing and the overlapping threads that keep circling back.
The way that it implies a relationship between Jenkins and Clooney, where it's like, oh, sorry about the award or whatever it was. And he's like taunting him over the pastry. He's like, there's so much history between those two guys.
Thomas.
He just knows exactly how to like cuck him.
Yes.
And make him have to be on his
Jenkins
back foot and
is just
defensive.
so good at the, he's just perfect
It
at
is
that.
why this performance
early
is
in the
incredible.
It's not like early in Richard Jenkins' career career.
But
Obviously, he's been working for so long.
The 2000s are when Hollywood start finally giving him his flowers.
He's on 6 Feet Under at this point.
Yes, but he was like a spark plug in that show.
Yeah.
Because he was dead. Spoiler alert for the opening seconds of 6
very
Feet Under.
first
But he dies.
But he comes back a lot in the
he's
early
a ghost,
seasons.
and he'll come in and like be sarcastic and all that. And like he's in Man Who Wasn't There also as a lawyer, from what I remember. We haven't done that episode yet. And the Coens love him. And I remember they gave some interview where you're like, if you need like a sort of milquetoast, fussy guy like Richard Jenkins.
Fairly Brothers also used him a lot. He's in all of their.
He's in Me, Myself, and Irene. He's in Something About Mary. Tiny role.
He's
I think.
really good in Hall Pass. He plays a pickup artist in Hall Pass.
That sounds good. I've
Just
never seen
Ricky
Hall Pass.
Jenkins with like a fedora and like Ed Hardy shirts.
How many Coens is he in? He's in
Just the two.
Burn After Reading after this.
Oh, he's in Burn After Reading, right. So
Is that
3? I think that's it.
That's
Couldn't
his.
have found more room for him?
That's
Come
his
on.
year. The Burn After Reading, Visitor.
Is that the same year as The Visitor? Yeah.
Step Brothers are all
Oh
the
my
same
God.
year.
Step Brothers is obviously his peak and American acting's peak.
Yes.
Would you say?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck is like you can use that any time.
But it's all the fucking dinosaur.
Well, obviously the
monologue,
dinosaur stuff at the end is amazing.
which is entirely improvised. Do you know
yes,
that?
yes.
That
Of course
McKay was
I
just
know.
like, just come up with something.
Mm-hmm.
There's the moment where he starts doing the T-Rex arms and he looks down at them as if like remembering what he's lost.
Do you know what we're talking about, Ben?
I haven't seen the movie in a while, but
He just tells the boys at the end, like, I also had dreams once I wanted to be a dinosaur.
He spends the
and they're
whole
like,
movie
what are you
telling them
talking
to
about?
grow
yes,
up.
I do
Yeah.
remember this.
He spends the whole movie being like, you have to be adults, you have to get a job, you have to give responsibility. And at the end of the movie, at the Catalina wine mixer, they're like
Catalina
both
wine
doing
mixer.
jobs and they're like talking about taxes with each other joylessly. And he's just like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but this is depressing. You guys need to go back to doing what you were doing before. And they were like, Dad, we like Roth IRAs. Like, come on. Like, and then he's just like, no. And his big emotional speech about like not losing your flame is that when I was a child, I wanted to be a dinosaur and my parents told me you can't do that. And I gave up my dreams and I thought someday I'd circle back to being a dinosaur and I never had the chance. And then they just keep going like, what do you mean?
Would you be a dinosaur?
And he was like, I was so good at it. I put my arms at my side and I would roar. And they were like, but you're a human. You can never be a dinosaur. And he's like, that's what I let them convince me.
Wow. I mean, that's crazy that he improvised. That's such a
Randy
good choice.
here is going to eat your dick. Like Kobayashi. I don't know. Step Brothers is still good, right?
It's a
There's
masterpiece.
no problem with Step Brothers.
No, it's 5 stars.
The best Jenkins, apart from Shut the Fuck Up, is that it? Or when's it when John C. Reilly just does the long monologue about how Mary Steenburgen is going to want to fuck him?
That's like the
Like,
introduction
it's
to those
like
characters.
So long.
From my chest pubes down to my ball throw. And then I think he breaks a plate.
Anyway, Jenkins,
you know what
sorry.
movie Rich Jenkins in?
What's
If.
up?
He's an If. Just putting that
He
out there.
is an
He's an
If.
If.
He plays a little wooden
He's an
artist
he's an
model
art
version
teacher,
of
according
himself.
to yeah.
He hasn't been in a movie, excepting his voice role in If, since Nightmare Alley, which he's very
great
good
in.
in.
Yeah.
And I don't. I
Has
mean,
he done like 4 shitty TV
he
shows?
played like Jeffrey Dahmer's dad in
Great.
the Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
Thank God.
A few.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now he's in the Ed Brubaker
Criminal.
adaptation of Criminal.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited for.
Ed
but,
Brubaker, friend of the show, inexplicably one of those people who's so important to David and I, who is now a listener
yes,
and texts with us.
Shout out to Brubaker.
But in whatever recent Cohen's episode, we were saying, "Where's Jenkins been?" And he's like,
he's crushing it
Okay.
on Criminal.
Okay.
"Yeah, excited for
which
you
is
guys
going
to
to
see
be
it."
on Amazon, I think. I'm
I
Prime
believe.
Video.
Yeah.
But let's get. I want him back. I need more Jenkins in my life.
Absolutely.
We need him back.
And, you know, he introduced Divine Joy Randolph at the Critics Circle the year she won, which was what, 2024? When was that?
3.
Three. For Holdovers, because they did some tiny movie together that no one ever saw.
Right, you guys have talked
And he
about
was
this
such
on
a
air. I've
sweetie.
heard you talk about this in another episode.
I never.
But
This
is this is the first? Why did you guys talk about Richard Jenkins already? Because chronologically, this is
everywhere.
the first Coens he was in. I have no idea why he's
Yeah,
come
why
up
did we-
before.
I don't know. He came up recently. Whatever.
Nah, whatever.
Yeah.
So all that basically what happens within Miles before he destroys Marilyn
Mhm.
in the courtroom, they go out to dinner.
Oh,
And-
I'm sorry to finish giving Richard Jenkins his flowers.
Okay.
The thing that's so beautiful about that scene that all rests on Jenkins' shoulders is how quickly he goes from kind of like begrudgingly accepting the way that Clooney bites him down to at the end being so emotionally overcome with like, I'm gonna take my briefcase and go home. Like that Clooney's destroyed his spirits.
Right.
Yes.
But Clooney asked Zeta-Jones out to dinner sort of as a kind of like, again, extension of his boredom of like, maybe I just take her out to dinner. Like, if she's, if he like, it's such an ethical, what I'm saying?
Again, legally, is he allowed to do this? I have that question, but who cares?
I do think there's like a little bit of like Ethan Hunt, Elsa Faust in this movie where it's just like they immediately lock eyes
game
and
recognized
know,
game.
Yeah, we're the only two people on the planet who operate at this level.
Yeah, I mean the way they order wine together is like a rat-a-tat dialogue thing is gorgeous.
So their dinner scene is nice. This is where I'm sorry, Catherine. I think she's like good. I wish someone was amazing in this role.
Okay, so can I give
Clooney is elite in this role.
Can I give my take?
Yeah, what's your take?
After watching this movie,
and is there a better?
I was like, I really want to watch Lady Eve again.
Sure.
Because it's not like this is like a quiet remake of Lady Eve, but I do think it pulls a lot of things from Lady Eve.
Obviously, for fans who don't know the Lady Eve, it's one of the better movies ever made.
Yes.
Barbara Stanwyck and Henry Fonda, Preston Sturges movie.
And it's
Senator Cruise Ship.
A movie about an elite con artist, card sharp, who multiple times romances the heir to an ale fortune. There's a lot of difference between beer and ale. And it's a similar movie where there's this kind of like she keeps running different cons on him based on who has the power in the situation. And part of the mystery of the movie is like, when are there real feelings and when are there not, and what's motivating what, and when is it just about money and whatever. But that movie is all basically told from her perspective. Even though you meet him first.
No, he's the mark.
You're getting her doing the kind of Ocean style, here's what I'm going to do. And you have the scenes where she's going back to her father and explaining what's changing in her mind. So you're not sure if she's going to be able to pull it off, but the fun is her outlining what her intentions or her plans are and how things get in the way. In this movie, the character is kind of a sphinx. It's clearly what they're sort of enjoying is that you're watching the film and it has these gaps where you're like, wait, what's happened? Why did we just cut ahead 6 months?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
And that you need to untangle it after the fact. Only at the end do you realize everything she's done.
Right. They're hiding the movie's biggest twist, which they want to hide because it's a twist of like when she reappears with Billy Bob Thornton.
Right.
That's
we have not even brought up yet.
Right. Well, we're going to
get there.
Yes.
But I guess but I just, okay.
But I think it means that there's not that much she can play. It's obvious to say, well, isn't the best version of this Julia Roberts? Because you just imagine the whole movie having the liar and a thief.
And she's sassy.
Energy, right?
Sassy.
Yeah.
You see this scene of them at the dinner table together and you imagine
that scene in Ocean's 11.
Which is just perfect.
Who are the big other kind of, elite female stars who could, right? I'm just trying to think of like
not to conjure Leatherheads again, but could Renee Zellweger have done it?
No,
you don't think so?
I don't think she's a good actor.
Oh,
I mean,
interesting. Wow.
And she's my big problem with Down with Love.
See, I love her in Down with Love.
Yeah, I do not.
Yeah, she couldn't have done
Down
both,
with
I guess.
Love,
You kind of have to pick one or the other.
But obviously, she and Clooney, right? They did try at chemistry.
He's
later.
already done a Julia movie. He's already done Michelle Pfeiffer, someone who could have done this.
She could have done it.
Yeah.
Who else is in that?
Michelle Pfeiffer makes sense. She's like on the cusp of being a little aged out or whatever, but yes.
I mean, Halle Berry is huge at this point, but I don't think she would have worked in this role.
No. Comedy not her strong suit.
No.
But you're like, who's in goddess territory? Is an adult woman. Like, it can't be a girl.
It can't be like Scarlett Johansson or
Keira
whoever the
Knightley,
new stars are. Like, I don't know. Sure, Julia. I mean,
I'm just saying, like, if you cast Julia in this, and they obviously have such good chemistry, and they're biting back and forth at each other, I still don't know if Julia makes this part explode, because part of this role in construction is
you don't know what's going on with
you're
her.
not seeing the hand she's holding until the very end.
Julianne Moore?
Julianne Moore could have been excellent.
She can kind of do everything, right?
She could have been excellent. She does her own divorce lawyer rom-com around
Laws
the
of
same
Attraction,
time.
not exactly
Wow.
an endorsement of any for doing comedy, right?
I just had the thought while watching this movie, and you miss the fun of the surprise of the complete unraveling at the end and realizing what you didn't realize you've been watching the whole
Seeing
time.
Billy Bob Thornton on the soap opera is like a key delight that you don't get if you know what's going on.
Like the Julia Duffy scenes, which I agree with you are kind of the broadest and the least interesting parts of the movie, instead had more of a sense of who is this character?
Yeah.
What is animating her?
Yeah.
Her planning. And it felt like the movie was more of a tennis match and less. We're seeing it all through Clooney's perspective and she's unknowable. I think there's a certain degree to which this part, as written, couldn't be played better than it is.
Maybe you're right.
Because the meat of the role is actually not depicted on screen.
Yeah.
And it is supposed to be like, right, you're this beautiful Sphinx-like woman, and she's totally good at that.
Yeah.
And so my suggestion of, what about Holly Hunter? Cohen's collaborator. She's older than Clooney by 3 years. Probably.
Would she work as the gliding?
No, but she is.
All right, the one I was going to throw out.
And they're great in Oh Brother together. They have
That's
their back
true.
and forth.
Bring him back.
This is the other thing. You're like, who hasn't he worked with, right? Already at this point.
He tends to
He's
work
done
well with
Peacemaker with Kidman. There's a universe in which Kidman could have done
Kidman
this.
could have
Yes,
done this.
Kidman absolutely could have done this. This is an era where she could have done something like this.
Yeah.
Stepford Wives is around this time or whatever.
This would have been a much better choice than Stepford Wives.
But he's
yes.
basically worked with all the
is true.
A-listers in his age group.
Yeah.
Did he ever
Sandra Bullock could have done it?
Yes, he doesn't do
Yes.
that until Gravity.
Yeah.
She could have. This is like, she's still a big star. Like,
Yeah,
she's not really in her,
Congeniality isn't too far away from this.
but it's definitely because, like, by the time she was in Crash, which is just a couple years later, you were kind of like, oh, Sandy Bullock.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Well, and then she disappears again into Blindside
Uh-huh.
and Proposal.
The other one I was going to throw
Winslet?
out is Charlize. I think she could have done it.
She's-
It would've-
so
she
she's-
wasn't
this is-
doing comedies then.
No, this is
No.
the year she does Monster.
Yeah.
She's not really a
Oh.
proven actor yet.
So
Yeah.
she's not big enough yet to hold her own against Clooney.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Did Clooney never worked with Winslet, did he? I'm looking at like best
With
actress.
Winslet?
I don't know if
I don't
Winslet
think he
could
ever
have.
did.
I don't know if
I don't
Winslet
know
would
if
have
she
worked
could
in
either.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz.
No.
I'm
would've
not
been too
finding
broad.
an obvious
Yeah.
like, you know.
Uma.
Yeah, Uma's look, this is the Kill Bill year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uma's a little in the wilderness too. Kill Bill
Yeah.
kind of, is her first big hit in a long time.
How's Uma a comedy like this though? Like
don't know.
fast.
Uma's
I
a weird
think
one.
That's not her strong.
Ben just said solely Uma and then pulled the mic back away. It's like, that's
Yeah.
it. Mic drop.
I mean, Blanchett's the one I think could have been
Yeah,
interesting,
but she's not
no one would
really
have
famous
considered her
enough
in
yet.
this way.
yeah,
at
she's
that
really
point.
in the wilderness in this period, right? Like pre-aviator.
How dare you? The Missing.
Well,
Huge
yeah,
hit.
doesn't she like breaks out with Elizabeth and then makes like
She makes
8
a lot
terrible
of
movies?
This is the she's
I'm
fucking it up.
I'm
Yeah.
obsessed
Yeah.
with her prestige run post Elizabeth pre-Oscar. Yes.
Yeah.
Where it's truly like, a relief pitcher coming in and throwing like 8 wild pitches or whatever. And then suddenly like, we're like, oh, okay, she got it. She got the Oscar. And then
we've
after that,
talked
she was
about
on the straight and narrow.
in
basically.
the same period, Kate Winslet, like 2 out of every 3 movies she makes are nothing, and yet none of them stick to her.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
she
yeah.
was kind
yeah.
of Teflon,
just-
where it's like we all love Winslet.
Well, she had like 3 Oscar nominations back at
She-
this point.
She would just occasionally, do even an Iris, and that would
Yeah.
be enough to be like, yeah, we still love Kate Winslet
Right.
if
Yeah.
she shows up. And so, yes, nobody thought about the lives of David Gale or the hideous Kinkies.
Right.
Just to name some movies.
Starring in Titanic probably gets you there too. I don't think
Yeah,
Kate Blanchett ever made
Titanic was
anything.
kind of
it
this
was a
film
big
that
movie.
had lingered in the
Was
consciousness
big.
in some
Was
way. I wonder
big.
why.
Yep.
Anyway, so he annihilates her in court. So the next sequence is
Well, hang on,
Clooney-
wait. Kid, there is the scene where they
David.
go to the diner with Cedric the Entertainer, and Paul
Oh,
Epstein
yeah.
orders baby field greens, and the waitress, another perfect middle-aged woman,
What
said,
the
"What
fuck-
did you just call me?"
What
Yeah.
the fuck up? What the fuck color would
And
it be?
Clooney orders like an overcooked steak with ranch dressing or something.
Right. He
some
says,
like
"Can I get a
insane
green salad?" And she goes, "What other color would
Baby
it be?"
field greens.
So
Who's that?
that's
that
like if
actress
round
so
is funny. Like that's perfect. Cohen's service
This
worker
is
comedy.
just, like every line in this movie is funny.
It's
It's
I
just
agree.
like a little kind of like jewelry box.
Can I say, and I don't know if you guys agree with this, I didn't announce this yet, but I do think the first half is better than the second half. I do think it
Ooh.
doesn't run out of steam exactly, but the first half where the stakes are so defined and Clooney is so on fire and the courtroom scenes are so fun, whereas the second half where it's a little heavier on the plot twists and the kind of like
I love the
who's
Vegas
zooming
stuff
who.
so
I do
much.
I do too.
though.
It's funny. I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, okay, so this was another reason I rewatched Lady Eve last night, is like Lady Eve is ostensibly a 3-act movie.
yeah.
But
I mean,
yet-
again, you're talking about one of the best movies ever.
I know,
Yes.
but I was just like, there's a similar thing going on that's very unorthodox in the year that this movie is coming out, right? Lady Eve is like a 3-act movie if you actually look at the story, but Act 1 is like 50 minutes long.
Right.
Act 2 is like 20 minutes long, and Act 3 is like 10 minutes long. And I think that was a thing back in the screwball era where they were just like this kind of diagrammatic, you need to build your 3 acts and each one needs to be half an hour, right?
Yeah.
And it needs to be like this clean.
Yep.
They were sort of like, everything is as long as it can justify being while still being entertaining. And if the boring part of the movie needs to you need to get through that faster, then you get through it faster. Or if something more interesting can happen, then there's 4 acts. Like, who cares, right?
Right.
The first 45 minutes of this movie is the dissolution of the marriage to Edward Herman.
Right.
Yeah.
Is the right.
Almost half of the film is basically Act 1. And so then it's a movie
yeah.
where the acts speed up as they go
Yeah, because
along.
Billy Bob Thornton shows up. You're like, oh, this is the rest of the movie. And it's like, not really. He's kind of in and out very quickly.
Yeah, that feels, again, sort of like Jenkins, of them being like, we just worked with this guy. We loved him. He's so funny for 1 second in this.
He's
It's
really
like a
funny.
20-minute Act 2.
Yeah.
Right.
But to
That's
conclude
mostly
Act 1
misdirect.
is he nails her ass, but with the Heinz the Baron Baron Kraus von Espy, who, after he sets her up by having her cry about how much she loves Rexroth, brings in this guy, and is basically, the guy is like, I found her a rich, stupid husband.
He's
on
the
her
Tenzing
command."
Norgay.
Yes.
Silly man. The Tenzing Norgay.
It's very
Yeah.
Just anytime they come up with a good combination of sounds that you can repeat 6 times.
And we should just ask, does anyone have any bones in the house here?
Oh, they want
For the dog?
bones.
The
milk bone, the
bones.
chewy, the crunchy for the teeth.
Yeah, God. May we? There are no maybes now. May we? But of course.
See, I think he's funny,
more
but I
movies
think
should
stuff is
have-
funnier later, like than the Baron.
Yeah.
Like he's broader than the stuff than like We Kirk of the Hills or whatever in Vegas.
I'm really into like Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast being in any movie. Like, I just like that kind of a
With
guy.
a tiny dog, ideally.
With a tiny dog.
Oh, so you love monuments, man.
Does it have
Is Jerry Orbach
With pleasure.
Oh, Dujardin.
Yeah.
beat Clooney for that Descendants Oscar?
And that was their makeup.
Yeah.
The
We'll
crazy
work
thing is
together.
that there's a crazy one he beat in there.
Brad Pitt and
Jean
Michael.
Dujardin?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus,
yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, so
then Billy Bob Thornton shows
he
up.
annihilates Marilyn, and then as you say, it's like 6 months later.
Yeah.
Right? And it's sort of like he's back to being a nobody.
You also,
sorry, back to being
You
bored.
end that sequence with her with Julia Duffy and her
Mhm.
like girl gang saying like, next time I gotta find a better
Yeah, right,
husband
right.
without Klaus,
Mm-hmm.
without a Baron Heinz von Espy.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. She's
She also
like,
finds Jeffrey Rush. She has the one scene in the middle
She
there.
just finds him in an
right,
alley.
Where she finds him in the
Yes.
alley clutching his trophy.
Yes.
Yes.
but basically you see her call the shot of like, I'm gonna do it again, I'm gonna do it better, and
Mhm.
I'm not gonna have a Tenzing Norgay that he can use to take me down.
And you
because
assume,
she's sort of activated by like, this guy caught me.
Mhm.
I need to now get the next point on him.
right. She thought she had the perfect murder. She didn't. So you assume what she's done is this oil baron who's so stupid.
Mhm.
And she like gets the prenup signed with Massey, and Massey's like, okay, what's she up to? And then he emotionally tears up the prenup at their ceremony.
Right. Well,
And Massey's like,
yes.
He does
okay,
it, he dips
she's
it,
a
that's when he dips it in the
genius.
barbecue sauce, right? He eats it.
the
But
confidence game of she hired me.
Right.
Right.
She respects
wants
me.
The prenup.
right.
I know what she's after. This
Uh-huh.
guy's money. And yet she's hiring me to do
But
everything
she's
seemingly
doing the long
she
con
can.
of you think it's your idea to get rid of the prenup, right?
Right.
Yes.
But of course, the twist is this is all staged. But,
Yes. He's so depressed at the wedding. He sees Billy Bob eat the prenup.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, she's a genius. That's the moment where I think he truly falls in love with her, where
Right.
it goes from being a lust
Well,
to like, this is the only other genius on this planet.
well, and when he realizes the thing with the prenup and he says to her the line, like, now that this marriage is winding down while she's standing in her
Right.
wedding dress,
Right.
which is so
Right.
funny.
Right. It is.
Because he's like, mission accomplished. You
Yeah,
got what you wanted.
Exactly.
You could divorce him tomorrow.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there before that is where we first meet the like senior partner who has the Living Without Intestines magazine in his waiting room. It's like very Hudsucker Proxy.
But it's also a gag that it feels like it gets repeated in Serious Man.
Yes.
And it's another gag that anytime I show this to a girlfriend, they would further back up in the couch somehow.
Yes.
I'd be like, I feel like you're paying even less attention. They're like, yeah, well, that scene
that guy is
didn't
gross
really work
and scary.
The people I remember who were Coen's fans at the time were like, the movie sucks. It doesn't feel like them, except for there's this old guy and there's this thing with this assassin.
I mean, those
named
things
Wheezy
are
Joe.
obviously very Coen's.
Everyone told me those are the only two things that feel like them.
Yes. Wheezy Joe is definitely right out of Raising Arizona.
But you're talking about the inherent darkness, Katey, in this movie, where it's so surprising that all these different people attach themselves to it and we're lusting after the script. The Coens are latching on to like an honest cynicism within this story, right? You could imagine the original version of the script and other versions that people directed being much frothier and having a sort of like they both make each other good people kind of ending.
Yeah.
And this movie is based on the cynicism of how we've basically set up an industry of marriage, right? That like marriage has like morphed from being this like property merger thing to ostensibly being a modern thing based on love, but also we're all kind of quietly ignoring the fact that the big concern is always the money at the center of the thing.
Yeah.
And that there are people who become fucking millionaires many, many times over at being able to explode marriages or protect marriages or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That all of this is so callous, and this notion of a prenup and immediately like at the beginning of your marriage being like, and by the way, I don't trust you.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, it made me wonder because like Joel Coen's obviously been very happily married for a long time. Like, was Ethan going through any divorces in this period?
Joel
like, is
was
anything
divorced once very young, before he met Frances. Joel and Ethan have both been married to the same people for decades now. Ethan's marriage seems interesting.
I would say both have very interesting marriages.
Yes, they both seem to have interesting marriages,
and they seem very content in their interesting.
Exactly.
marriages.
In their own ways, they are both major wife guys. But there's the Joel divorce that he kind of never talks about, and it does feel like the early
really
movies,
pre-Blood Simple.
Yes,
I mean Joel Coen obviously is always doing People magazine spreads, and he just won't touch that one topic. It's like Joel Coen doesn't talk about his personal life at all.
I'm hearing a rumor that he's going to announce his new era soon.
He's going to go
going on New Heights
on his new girlfriend's podcast. Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine if
Frances McDormand had a podcast.
No,
Are you kidding me?
if
So
Taylor
good.
Swift dumped Tyler Kelsey, whatever his name is.
Travis
Kelsey, sorry. And you know who he is. I'm not trying to be a sports ball guy over here. And was like, I've got a new boyfriend, Joel Coen. And she hooked up with Joel Coen?
Yeah.
That would be a great.
Would she finally make her movie in that case?
That's the
Like
thing.
she's
It
in
felt
Hollywood
like
now?
4 years ago, everything was pointing towards serious cinephile Taylor Swift. And then we just took a hard left turn.
To the NFL.
Well,
If
she
only
also took a
had
hard
broken
left turn
up
to
the McDormand-Coen marriage.
She also took a hard left turn to doing like a 2-year tour that was like the most successful music
It's
tour
true.
in the history of
And
sung words.
Searchlight's just saying like, hey, Taylor, where's that deal we signed 4 years
I
ago?
was going to say,
Whenever you're ready.
the most successful thing in the history of the economy.
It was
I
just
think
right.
so.
Exactly. It was like a country unto itself.
It was you look at the stats from the Eras tour, and it's like every city she went to for that week had the kind of economy boost that is usually reserved for the Olympics.
Oh, yeah. My mom and sister went to Indianapolis, and there was like a thing in the airport greeting the people who were there for Taylor Swift. It was bananas.
And you're like, oh, the 1 week she was in Indianapolis.
Yeah. It was bigger than the Colts, probably.
The city went up $2 billion.
Yep.
Yeah. You have in the hotel hallway after the wedding where Clooney basically like monologues to Catherine Zeta-Jones of like, aren't you in love with me? Right?
Right.
Like,
It all
basically,
happens
we're,
in Vegas.
We're the two stars of this movie. Right. Can we like get over it and admit it? And he kisses her and she kisses back and then basically has no reaction, walks away, and he does the you fascinate me.
Fascinate me.
And this is like 6 months after the build up of
this
the wedding.
is the
like
6
we've
months.
gotten
But like, right. But it's like he's operating on the premise of she is divorced and about to collect more money than even I have.
Yes.
And it's a con. I mean, look, just to spoil the movie, like she's conning him. She has arranged it so that he will marry her in Vegas while he's at his convention.
Oh, I'm sorry. The kiss in the hallway happens after she brings Billy Bob to him the
it's
first
after,
time.
yes.
Yeah.
The introduction of Billy
right.
Bob.
That's in his office. This is well before Vegas.
Right. He's
But
like, let's
it's-
cut through this shit. Right.
Post the marriage.
And yes,
at
and then
the Vegas convention of divorce lawyers,
right,
she
shows up looking like $1 trillion
with the big dog,
and he's immediately kind of like goo-eyed at the idea that she's worth more than he is now.
Yes.
And this is where the big like power shift happens.
Yeah.
Is she gets a call that Julia Duffy had died.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, that's after they go to that dinner, which is
Right.
so lovely and like sad, where they're both like realizing they're not happy with what they've gotten.
but she's faking it.
But she's
yes.
faking it. But it, like at
But
the
yes,
time,
yes,
it feels
yes.
very
It
sincere.
does. Where they're both like, there's nothing left for us in the field except for love.
We've climbed the
achieved
tallest
everything
mountains.
else. Exactly.
Right. There's nothing left. Right. And then she gets this call and she's like, my friend, she had all this money. She had all these divorces. She died from, recovery of
the perforated ulcer.
Well, because she couldn't take the medicine for the ulcer because of plastic surgery.
Right. And she's like, and she didn't have anybody.
Yeah.
And Clooney's like, we have to get married right now. Is a thing I love that they have not slept together.
Mm-hmm.
But it is this kind of thing.
It's a fairly chaste movie.
Well, I was going to say it's like post-code movies where they have to sort of skip over the implication that the characters have ever slept together. And I guess in some ways it's a more traditional, you might just say like, I like your look. Will you please take my hand in marriage?
They gotta go get married so they can finally kiss on the bed.
But he just makes like a logical plea to her of like, shouldn't we just be together?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get this over with. I'll give you the Massey prenup.
Yep.
Right? I'm so in this for love that I want you to know that I'm not after your money.
Right.
They go to the little chapel.
And then they get married and she tears
the wee
up
Kirk
the
of the
Massey.
Heather.
She
Incredible.
does. She does
Perfect.
the tearing up the prenup thing 3 times in this movie.
In their marital bed.
And the first 2 times it's fake. The third time it's real.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously this is all a long con. She is taking his money by marrying him. She was never married to Doyle, who's a soap opera actor.
Yes.
And
which is
it's you're right about the Lady Eve thing, where it's like, that second act is brief and it's at Vegas. The crowning moment you mentioned in your Letterboxd review is his speech.
Yes.
His kind of greed is good speech where he's like, love is good. And
Yeah.
This is act 3. Second act is Billy Bob, which is really short.
Yes.
No, this is act 2.
Oh.
Act 3 to me is after they get married.
Is Wheezy Joe.
And then is Wheezy
sure.
Joe.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. I forgot about the whole Wheezy Joe.
Right. And then, that's what I'm saying. We leap to Massey is ruined.
Yes.
Marilyn has all his money.
He's speaking at the No Man convention. He has what would be your big triumphant third act. The character has seen the light.
Right. But that's in the
he
second
gives
act
the
and
big
he's been fooled.
monologue.
Right.
Saying like, I think what we're doing is bad and actually love is important.
And they give him the
he's
slow clap. And do they lift him on shoulders or is that just the implication?
Yeah. He's conquering hero.
Yeah.
And then he immediately clocks Billy Bob on the TV.
Apparently with Bruce Campbell is there,
Yes.
which I did not clock, but I saw on Wikipedia.
Just to clarify, he signs the prenup because he believes that Billy Bob has given her the money.
She has his wealth, but she has no wealth at all.
Right.
Yes.
And instead, like by ripping up the prenup,
he's in the bad position. Or
now
whatever
he's
they say.
and so
he gave her the prenup to protect her, to say to her, I love you not for your money. So he thinks that her ripping up the prenup is her saying, I love you so much, I want you to share my money. In reality, he's giving her access to his money. She
I
has
got
no money.
so confused at this point and
Or
that
has
it
less.
took me until the end to actually understand what was fucking going on.
It's another thing with this movie of like, as I was saying, it is a movie and most comedies are not structured like this. Like a thriller heist movie where you don't know until the end what's been going on the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I've now seen this like 4 or 5 times. And even still, every time while I'm watching it, I'm trying
Just
to
roll with
remember
it.
exactly where it's going.
But in the third act, like now Clooney is ruined. Marilyn has his money.
She has his house.
She has his house. Clooney's partner, the old guy Herb, is like, you have to kill her to protect the reputation of the firm.
And Clooney's having nightmares about like this guy who previously had said like, you're the best of us, you're the future.
Mhm.
Now he's having nightmares basically about becoming that guy.
Hire Wheezy Joe.
Or I guess the nightmare is what gets him to propose to Zeta-Jones.
Played by the great Irwin Keyes.
Yes.
Who's just one of those faces. Made a bajillion fucking
Born to be in a Coen
DVD
movie.
Big skull
straight
man.
to video movies.
Yep.
Yes.
It's pretty funny to ask him, are you Wheezy Joe?
While he's wheezing.
Yeah.
Whose bit, of course, is that he has an inhaler.
Yeah.
And
Also, he and Paul Adelson get a lot of those like Raising Arizona screams at each other where they just turn and shriek
They
at
are
the top
so
of their
good at
lungs.
that.
They're really good at it.
It's funny. It's Paul Adelson went right from this because it was like he was just emerging, Paul Edelstein, right? Like Prison Break is right around this time.
Right. He does Prison Break and Private Practice. He does like 3 TV shows in a row.
And like in Prison Break, he was like a hard-boiled asshole. It's like he's such a good goof, and I feel like he didn't get to do enough goof.
Yeah.
He usually plays in movies like a guy wearing an FBI jacket who's like, it looks like he went that way.
Yeah, you watch
like,
this and you assume he's like a comedy UCB guy or something.
Right. Yes. He's so fucking funny.
It feels like he got caught in a very, very lucrative detour.
I mean,
I guess
kind of
TV stuff, right?
Network procedural stuff.
But anyway, but the final gag is they hire Wheezy Joe to kill her, and before he gets to her, they realize
Edward Herman has died.
Rich because Rexroth has left her his fortune.
He didn't.
By mistake.
He never updated his will.
Right.
He dies of a heart
in
attack
in a train orgy.
Yes, he's got a big bed in front of
You're right
a
about
train
postcode
facade.
movies where it's like. Right. He's jumping on a big bed with a bunch of ladies in kind of like fancy old-fashioned
like
underwear.
conjunction junction hats.
In front of a big train.
Oh, yeah. There's like a train
choo-choo.
coming into the station.
And you're like,
projected.
right, it's an orgy. But like this movie's orgy.
It felt like the sell on this movie was trying to be, here you go, the 2 sexiest adults in Hollywood being sexy.
Well, that's how the Coens are about sex, though, right? Like, is there any movie where there's like real, like, genuine sex scenes?
What's the one we were saying? I mean,
of course, the hottest sex scene, I Hear Bills, when Buscemi's getting ridden in Fargo.
The parallel.
Buscemi.
Yes.
I Hear Bills.
Yeah.
Sex and Coen. They've had sex in their movies.
Many episodes ahead, but it's what's so bracing about Drive-Away Dolls.
Oh, goodness.
Is you're like,
oh, my goodness.
Ethan's been holding this back all this time.
Coen movies either cut away, fade out before the sex starts, and fade back in the next morning, right? Like this film does.
Yeah. Or make it ridiculous.
Or it's like it's cuckolding, or it's kind of like comedic banality.
Yeah.
It is like, this is depressing. Yeah.
So they have to stop Wheezy Joe from murdering her because now she's richer than him, so he will now benefit from the divorce.
Yep.
Yes.
And of course, Wheezy Joe accidentally inhales his own pistol and dies in a iconic Coen Brothers goofy criminal moment that I do feel like is the one thing everyone
gave them
Wheezy Joe.
Yeah. Well, and it's also that violence, like the sudden, shocking bit of blood that like this movie really lacks. There's no violence in it other than that, really.
You watch, I mean, he does like get shot. You see the fucking bullet wound. There is a lack of blood. You feel in a way where it's like, right, this is a PG-13 Universal Imagine Entertainment movie.
Yeah.
It costs $60 million.
But it's like as surprising as like Brad Pitt in the closet and Burn After Reading or something,
but that's like bloodier.
That's like, and that's heartbreaking
that's
in some
what's
way.
shocking.
Well, it's also Brad Pitt. So it's so shocking when that happens. Whereas Wheezy Joe, Wheezy Joe.
You kind of feel like they're teeing him up.
I mean, Wheezy Joe is... A studio would probably be like, we're introducing this guy like 100 minutes into a 100-minute movie, right? Like, he's a big swing.
He wasn't made to be long for this world, Wheezy Joe.
No.
Like, you could combine him with Cedric the Entertainer, maybe.
Right. He's like a Final Destination setup where you're like, gun and inhaler. Got it. I know how this is ultimately going to end. I'm just waiting to see the joy of how they finally like tee it up.
Yeah.
And the epilogue is... Okay, time to do the divorce. We're back at the table. We're back with Jenkins.
Yeah.
And they finally are like, maybe we are in love.
Mm-hmm.
They tear up the prenup. You're exposed. Like it's like the final tearing up.
Jenkins is furious where he's hired someone to murder you.
And then he runs off with the briefcase, and Adelstein's like, that's not fair, and chases after him.
But Lady Eve has a similar thing where, like, the guy is so hurt by being conned the first time, he needs to be conned a second time to forgive her. You know, like, they have to go so far beyond the pale to work past their problems.
Yeah, well, they've gone through all this effort to con each other, so maybe they deserve each other in some way.
It's also, like, that's how they know that the other one cares.
I guess, your point, Rush. We probably don't need the America's Funniest Divorce Videos coda. I mean, I like Gus getting his little star moment.
You want him back one more time, but
he says, how did you find the actor? He said, I found this producer.
That's I was trying to...
Yes.
But I don't know if we need that. I mean, we could probably buy that.
It also feels
find
a nice, tidy,
specific, dated in a way. And like, not that this movie is trying to feel timeless, but you do get to that and you're like, I don't know if I need, because I feel like that scene in the office is so perfect. Like that's the note that you want to end. It's probably the note that like a real Preston Sturges movie would end on, as opposed to the coda.
You want tact? Call a tactician.
No,
this is what I was
you want an
gonna
ass nailed?
Gonna nail that ass. I do think you watch a lot of like Lubitsch and Sturgis in particular, and the final beat of the movie will often be some loop closing with a supporting character. They end with like, here's the perfect like romantic like,
and then William
sweet,
Demarest is like, that's right,
positively the same thing, or the three guys opening the restaurant at the end of Ninochka or stuff.
Yeah,
it does feel very classical to be like, we don't put game pieces on the board unless they will ultimately get their final payoff.
Well, and there's the bit about Jeffrey Rush where it's like, that show will be yours someday. So like to have Catherine Zeta-Jones has now ownership of the game show. Like, yeah, I don't really know how that's a transfer to property, but it does feel like a callback to that too.
Right. And the idea that she has something of her own that's now his and whatever.
Oh, well, it's the thing that they do together, right? Does he say like, what are we going to do now? And she's like, I have an idea. And then it's Cedric the Entertainer on a TV show.
It's interesting. Did JJ have anything more about the budget? I mean, I do think a lot of this was sunk development costs, but also
JJ, who is fired, of course, because you didn't sign the Massey prenup.
We're going to nail his ass.
We are going to nail his ass. No, I mean, the budget is not really. There was just so little reporting on this movie because it was kind of there and gone.
Clooney has always said that he thinks there are less than 5 times in his career where he actually got his full quote.
Right.
Because he is a guy who likes to be like, I wanted to do
he just didn't do a lot of paychecks.
I want to do The Descendants.
Right.
I'll do deferred salary, you know? I feel like this is one of the cases where he probably got full quote.
Maybe he did, and maybe, like...
I think this is probably more than the Coens were ever paid upfront to direct a movie, I'm guessing.
So everyone just got paid a lot.
That's my thing. And I'm like, I bet
it's bankable, right?
Craft Services was much better on this film than it was in the Coen Brothers film.
Sure.
You know, they talk about how they prep so meticulously to be able to keep costs down, to have worked everything out so far in advance that they don't have to go searching on the day.
Yeah.
And I just think that's them working around a lot of the second there's a certain price tag on your head, people start asking questions and they start breathing down your neck and there's pressure. Even if you're people who are able to retain final cut in a movie like this, they just don't want that pressure on them, right? And this is just, I think everyone was more comfortable. People probably had better trailers. I think fucking
They probably stayed in a great hotel in Vegas.
Grazer and Ron Howard both were probably paid like $1 million to produce this, even though Ethan was the main producer, you know? Like, I think this is just a movie where everyone got their full salary, where everyone was treated nicely. It doesn't feel like they made it any differently. But you do watch this and you're like, holy shit, Burn After Reading costs $20 million?
It's crazy that
and
True Grit is cheaper
60?
than this.
True Grit's like 40 or 50.
Wild.
You know, like they're just so good at just like, don't waste money on things that aren't on screen.
Yeah.
And also big stars want to work with them and they will ultimately benefit when the movie is profitable, which almost all other movies are because the bar is so low.
You think this one's eventually made its money back?
It made 80 worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah, let me look up the numbers.
I do
like
think 30
we
domestic,
had
50
Seth Rogen
overseas.
on the show recently
Yes.
to discuss The Big Lebowski. The episode's already aired. And he put it correctly, which it made 120 worldwide. It made 35 domestic.
It made 120 worldwide?
Mhm.
So it made 80 overseas?
Yep.
So that
movie
is
stars,
healthy.
man.
Yeah.
And it's like, but as he put it, and he's right. He's like, at this time, every movie made $40 million on DVD.
Yeah.
Even bad ones.
That's the
Maybe they made more.
Yeah.
But like everything would just make so much money on DVD.
Yeah. And especially comedies.
Anyway, the film came out October 10th.
But I do think it spooks them a little bit. It is weird, even though no one's losing their shirt on it. I think it's perceived as a miss.
I'm sure it spooked them as much as the Coens are spookable. I don't know how much they do seem quite self-assured, obviously.
And yet they followed up
Obviously,
with a very
Lady
similar
Killers
move.
spooks
It's
them.
another movie they were originally just hired to write that they decide to take over and direct with a huge movie star.
Yeah.
And it's a studio project that's being pushed as a conventional mainstream comedy, or at least trying to sell it that way.
You've already recorded Lady Killers
We have.
episode, and I did not. I've seen it once. 15
I mean,
years ago.
I will spoil here. I just contend that they have never made a movie with a failing grade. I'd say that's the one that's on the cusp.
That's the one I give a
I'm like, I give it like a fucking C plus B minus.
Yeah.
Ben, did you like Intolerable Cruelty? I haven't really gotten the, and I was getting this sense.
He's been quiet.
Getting this sense.
You had a hard time following.
I laughed at some moments. I found the characters quite despicable.
They are.
In a way that made it hard for me to want to follow them along.
It's a very acidic movie with no one to root for.
Yep. But then it makes you believe in love at the end anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's something about the crassness, and I understand it's arch.
It's arch.
But
arch as hell.
It just...
Ben, you're a sincere fella.
Yeah. I struggled with it a little bit. Like, I will say I had to pause at one point because I got so frustrated. Like the moment when Clooney, they get married, I just like, I gotta walk away from this. I'm so annoyed.
I also think so much of the movie is misdirecting the audience that you kind of need to see it twice to have seen it once, which is another thing of like people seeing in theaters at the time and never revisiting it.
Yeah.
And I bet that that's a symptom of me always, knowing that if I were put in this situation that it would work out.
Of course.
And so seeing him fuck up so
Catherine
bad,
Zeta-Jones would not pull one over on you.
I gotta get out of here.
But
I can't even
Ben,
deal with this.
Ben, to David's point of view, being a sincere fella and someone who loves love,
yeah,
unlike Bag of Money movies, I think you can't even place yourself in the characters' heads in this.
Yeah, you don't play around with that shit.
Heinz, the Baron Krause fun aspect.
They are engaging in intolerable cruelty towards each other, which you don't fuck with.
Number one of the...
hang on. Can I say one more thing about the tone of this? I know, David. I also have to leave. But it's like, I feel like if
you have to leave. That's why I'm rushing this.
If this had come out with Burn After Reading, like post No Country, put those two movies together, I think they go really hand in hand.
Yeah.
But I do think Burn After Readings... That tone directed at DC as opposed to like Divorce Lawyers and Love, like is a little bit better aimed. Like it makes more sense to be cynical about that than.
I vastly prefer this movie.
Interesting.
David dislikes Burn, although we will see how the rewatch goes.
We will. It's not like I think Burn is like a bad movie. Like it's well made. It's got a lot of great stuff. But like that is the one time where I kind of had the Ben reaction.
Right.
And on every rewatch, I have the Ben. I'm like, too mean. I kind of hate everybody. It feels like an exercise.
But I agree with you, Katey. And as I love to remind people, Burn After Reading is weirdly their third highest grossing film.
You love to remind people of that, but I don't care about that.
But I'm just saying it did cross over in a way that, to Katey's point, I do think it was more palatable. Like the acidity in that movie is like, we all hate these guys. This movie is based around people who are kind of like annoying and arrogant, but we can all find common enemies in them.
Yeah, and you want
because
to like
they're the
hate
people control
DC
the levers
more
of
than,
power.
And and also just like the Post No Country thing, people were like ready
They
to
had one
receive
Best
it on its
Picture.
level as opposed to this period where it was a little bit weird.
It wasn't just Clooney; it was Clooney and Pitt.
But I think that movie has targets that are acceptable.
Yeah,
there's also something to like grimy scumbags versus these are like rich, awful people.
Well, you haven't seen Burn After Reading yet, right?
Rich people.
I have.
Okay.
I have,
Yeah.
but I just think that movie has a really goofy tone. I just remember enjoying it.
But they are rich people. Yeah.
I like this kind of because it's like the rich people aren't happy even when they're not being mean. It gets it.
That's what I like.
October 10th, 2003. A bad time to release this movie, in my opinion. As I already said, it's opening number 4 at the box office to $12.5 million, which is just straight up bad for your George Clooney PG-13 rom-com. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Now, number 1 at the box office, making $22 million. So again, I don't know why they opened this against this.
Yeah.
Is an auteurist masterpiece that is...
Is it Kill Bill?
It's Kill Bill Volume 1.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the greatest experiences I ever had in a movie theater.
It's another reason I think I didn't see this in theaters was I was seeing Kill Bill 3 times.
Yeah.
Like I was just...
All the Coens people you were talking about who didn't want to see it, they were busy.
It just felt triumphant. The guy's back and this thing is like a fucking thrill ride.
What kind of crazy, studio is like, let's open the new Coens against the new Tarantino?
It's very bizarre.
Anyway, so that's number 1. Number 2 is I would call a big sleeper hit of the season.
Okay.
It was number 1 last week. It's going to make $81 million.
Wow.
It's making $15 million in its second week. It had very good legs.
So it was September 2003.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Late September. Like a charming comedy with a movie star. It's kind of his movie star breakout.
It's kind of his movie star breakout,
say.
and
I was thinking it was a Reese.
sleeper. And you think it's
It's a great
charming.
movie. It is I think at this point, a canonical classic.
It's a canonical classic.
Mhm.
2003, September. It's his breakout.
Kind of. I mean, he's already a big star, I get, or he's becoming a big star right now. He's been a big kind of supporting actor guy for a few years, and now
Pacifier doesn't come out until 2004.
I'm not talking about The Pacifier.
You said big star, so it has to be Vin Diesel.
Doesn't have to
What
be
what
him.
would you say is the main genre of this star?
Comedy. He's a
Comedy.
comedy star. Yeah.
It's a big comedy star.
Is it Will Ferrell?
It's no, because Elf is a little
is the
later,
same
the
year.
same year.
Yeah.
Christmas time, or
And it's
close
not
to
a
it.
Stiller, and it's not an Owen Wilson, and it's not a Vince Vaughn, and it's School of Rock.
It is School of Rock, the
Aha.
wonderful Richard Linklater movie.
Mhm.
Which it's that thing of like, it's a mainstream family comedy
Yeah.
that's made by Richard Linklater and feels like it was made by him.
It is what I think everyone hoped Intolerable Cruelty would be.
Sure. Right.
And there's this
With
feeling.
actual crossover appeal beyond just art movie.
Jim
thing.
Jacks, who our buddy Kevin Smith talked about a lot on the podcast, was the guy who originally got the Intolerable Cruelty script and set it up at Universal in the early 90s. And his big thing was find these Sundance guys who have, you can see the gem of a commercial movie within them,
Right.
Yep.
and protect them enough to let them make it their way. And that was like Dazed and Confused. And at the time, it was like, one of these days, Linklater's going to figure out how to make a movie that cracks the mainstream.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
there was that similar feeling with the Coens. Yeah.
Number 3 at the box office, new this week, is the movie that I'm sure an angry phone call or two were made about not even opening above this.
Okay.
Right? You know, it's like, I'm sure some agents got chewed out, some
Yeah.
assistants got yelled at. It's a family comedy.
It's a family comedy.
It's heavy on animal.
Is it Good Boy?
It is the film Good Boy.
Yeah.
What is that?
Which stars dogs, I would say.
It's a Jim Henson production.
Ostensibly, I think Molly Shannon is first billed in this one. Liam Aiken is the kid actor.
Yes, but I think you're right. Molly Shannon's the mom, and it's like dogs
But,
are
it's
actually
like 10
aliens.
dogs. Right.
Oh.
Matthew Broderick is an alien. I'm an alien dog. Matthew Broderick's an alien
So
dog.
the dogs talk.
Yeah, Ben
Matthew
would love this
Broderick,
movie.
Ben,
Probably
Brittany
would.
Murphy, Carl Reiner.
Yeah, these are all the dogs.
Sounds like people.
Cheech Marin doing
Voicing
a
an
hilarious
animal?
voice
But I
animal?
think it's
Right,
basically like dogs are from Mars.
yes. I mean, this is one of those movies that has like been banned from existence by like congressional action.
you're right.
I have never
I
heard
had
of
The
no idea this
indignity
existed.
of Intolerable Cruelty
Clooney
opening
can't be
below.
Good Boy.
Good Boy.
Number 5 at the
You
box
said
office.
Molly Shannon was top billed, but top billed is a dog. Like it was a movie that was sold
Top
on.
billed is like 8 dogs. Like
Here's
she's
a
like
dog.
9th billed.
Yeah. And they're beating 2 of the biggest movie stars of the moment.
Number 5 at the box office is a movie star thriller.
Okay.
I would say it is a lesser entry in his oeuvre, although it is he's working with a director he made a great movie with before.
Is it a Fuqua?
No,
Okay.
but
I was
you've got
thinking
the
it was
right
like a
star.
Denzel Fuqua. So it is a
Oh.
Denzel. It's a
It's
Tony
a Denzel
Scott.
Washington. Nope, not
Fuck.
Tony
Oh.
Scott.
It's not
He
Fuqua.
only worked
It's
with
not
this
Tony
guy
Scott.
twice.
Okay.
He's a great filmmaker. I believe he's directed you, Griffin.
Oh, this is Out of Time?
It is Out of Time, directed by who?
Carl Franklin.
The great Carl Franklin, who of course made One False Move and Devil in a Blue Dress, which are amazing.
Mhm. And of course,
One True
directed
Thing, which is solid.
1 episode of Vinyl.
One episode of Vinyl, which I assume was good.
Yeah, what I liked about him, he whispered all his direction.
That's
Ooh.
cool.
Is that a good vibe?
Out
The
of-
It just
whispering?
felt very intimate. Like he'd go up to
Calming.
someone and just really hand on shoulder. Like
Out
it
of
was like,
Time-
I don't want to announce things in front of
I
everybody.
like that.
I'm
It's
giving
a-
the note to just you.
Right. It's a Denzel mode that I love, which is Denzel as a sloppy, fucked up mess, right? Like
Mm.
rather than Denzel as the cool professional or whatever.
Sure.
Like it is a sweaty Miami or it's a Florida Keys
Yeah.
thriller
Eva
about like a
Mendes?
cop who's like he's the chief of police, but like scandals are piling up.
Sure.
Yes,
Here- wait,
Eva Mendes is there.
here's
Sanaa
my story about
Lathan,
this movie is that
Dean Cain, a great patriot.
I texted you about this movie because I was at a trampoline park
Yes, you
that
were.
was
Hell yeah.
playing. I guess it had TNT on,
And
and
I-
I
you know-
saw the final. I was like, "What is this movie where Denzel is like sweaty and kind of a
Out of
bad
time.
guy and holding a gun?"
Out of
And
time.
he-
Next
Sure.
question.
And immediately after that, they started playing Malcolm X, which was
Oh,
just
yeah.
playing in the background at a trampoline park, which was
Perfect.
quite a sight. Just
I do-
throw that out.
Does
As-
Denzel own a trampoline park?
Does
Maybe.
he own Urban Air? He's probably making a lot of money off of
Yeah.
it.
It's not an amazing movie, but it's all right. And that's number 5 at the box office. Number 6 at the box office new this week is House of the Dead. The video game adaptation that Clooney did have the temerity to beat that one.
Uwe Boll. That's the beginning of the Uwe Boll video game dynasty. Yeah.
We've also got The Rundown, the early Dwayne Johnson action, pretty good movie in my memory. Peter Berg movie, right?
Yeah, it's
like fun.
It feels like there's an alternate history where you're like, if that movie was a bigger hit at the time, the entire Dwayne Johnson trajectory would have been very different.
I don't think the interview's gone up yet, but I interviewed Benny Safdie for Smashing Machine, and he calls him DJ.
Okay.
And that was
Everyone
very
calls him
interesting to me.
I feel like
I was
I've
like,
heard that before.
is that how we refer to him? Because
Yeah.
I still don't really know, like when I'm interviewing someone, like, so what did Dwayne do? What did Rock do? What are we calling him? And he calls him DJ. Number 8 at the box office, Under the Tuscan Sun. Masterpiece.
Yep.
C+ masterpiece.
Yeah.
Number 9, Secondhand Lions. Never seen that one. That's the Haley Joel post-Oscar.
Michael Caine, Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
Right.
From
What fucking addled studio guy
writer
was like,
of
get me
Iron
Caine and
Giant.
Duvall.
Yeah.
I mean, Kane and Osmond had Oscar heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then number 10, it's been out for 5 weeks. It's
I
another
like the idea that that's a burying the hatchet movie
right.
between Caine and
Fellas.
Haley Joel and their
The
contentious.
beef must be squashed.
Kane knows what he
supporting
did.
actor.
Duvall is there being like, it's fine.
Guys,
You'll
come
win
on,
your
get
Oscar.
together.
I got mine for Tender Mercies, was it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Haley, you'll win this time. Secondhand Alliance.
And Kane's like, I won't campaign.
Yeah.
You can campaign for this.
The Lions are yours. What the fuck? I've never had a good Kane, and that was somehow the worst Kane I've ever.
Meanwhile,
the
David Kane
Lions are
really just
yours.
popped out there. That was pretty
Well,
good.
you grew up in Britain. Everyone has.
Can you
Everyone's
say
got a
the
Michael
Lions
Caine?
are yours?
The Lions are yours. I can't. I lost it. Number 10 is Lost in Translation, which people forget came out in like
In
late
August?
August. Yeah. like-
Wow.
It was in early September.
right.
Did it go to Venice and then straight into theaters or something?
I think so, but it like played for 5
Ben,
months.
Are you high on crack? All right. We're going to complete the episode with Ben. Griffin, you would have gotten a text from Ben. Ben, I guess, just started hitting up eBay because he didn't care for the movie. So he's just typing shit
Well,
in eBay.
no, I looked up if there's any merch.
He looked up
Oh.
merch spotlight and sent an
Okay.
eBay link.
For $125
Okay.
or best offer, perhaps.
Yeah.
You can buy a shirt,
Maybe
a
the most wrinkled shirt.
I was gonna say.
pretty wrinkled shirt worn by Cedric the Entertainer.
Wow.
With Studio COA, so it's
Like
it's
on
authentic.
screen prop? Or
It's just funny because the picture of the shirt now
Yeah.
Oh.
is so wrinkled.
Yes.
But then the picture of him wearing it, you're like, this shirt was very iron.
it was new in
once.
2003.
It's also the shape of the shirt. I will say is not making a ton of sense to me. It almost looks like it's like a midriff cut,
It does look short, but
Right.
maybe it's a proportion.
and I'm
thing
like,
that
are the
not.
sleeves tiny or are they hidden?
Are you guys tempted to buy? I mean, I'm looking around this office with all the stuff here, and I
know.
cannot tell how much of it is shit you have bought on eBay just like this in a recording.
Every day we come here and David goes, "I wish there was more stuff." He goes,
Yeah.
"Griffin,
No, it's
please buy
interesting.
more."
It's interesting that you've said we
Uh-huh.
in that
All this
statement.
negative
You pulled up
space
that
in
eBay
here.
link. You're complicit in all
He
of
is.
this.
That's true. Fuck.
He is.
Fuck.
There's no option for best offer.
We
I would
still
make a
haven't
best offer. On
We still
this.
haven't received our device
Yeah,
that
'cause
turns
it's a fucking complicated delivery process.
water or air into water.
Yeah,
or
I'm gonna have to
something.
text Minix to
The
figure
David
out a
Lynch.
time
I
where-
feel like I'm supposed to bring a trinket. Like I have to have an offering here. But,
yeah, like this.
I mean,
We're done because
Yeah,
we have
we're
to do
done.
Tank Girl, and Katie has to go see.
if I had legs, I'd kick you. The
Oh, yeah, there you go.
the movie
Mary Bronstein?
for moms who are separated from their children, as I am right now, and it make me never want to go home? We'll see.
Possibly.
I might give you some
good
little
movie.
Avatar
Bit
toys to
stressful.
bring back to the boys.
Oh,
Okay,
we'll
truly,
be
I
ready.
don't think this is going to be worth it. Very quickly, I looked up alternate titles for the foreign markets. Love is Expensive in Argentina and Brazil.
That's pretty good.
Solid.
Japan, Divorce Show.
Good.
Okay.
My favorite, Austria, is Anne, parentheses, I am, close parentheses, possible case.
That
Uh-huh.
I don't get it.
An impossible. I don't know.
Oh,
And possible and impossible.
oh,
Okay.
It's got layers.
Yeah.
I think David's giving me kind of a.
Yeah.
Intolerable Cruelty is one of the. It sounds like the title of a USA show.
Oh, you don't
about
think it was a
sexy
good title?
lawyer. It's okay.
It's before Suits existed and Royal Pains or
You're
whatever
right that
else.
in 2003, it sounds like Necessary Roughness.
Right. There you go.
But it's like
It's fine.
you'd believe that there's like a 10-star Hepburn Tracy movie called
Yes.
Intolerable
100%.
Cruelty.
Yes.
Or fucking Rock Hudson movie. Yeah, it's
Right.
like yes, 100%. That is
Katie?
true.
You're the
I-
best.
so happy to be back
Far
here.
too long.
What a thrill. I got to get back to New York more.
You do.
And give me the finger
your last
guns.
episode came out last year. I think we may have recorded.
That's true. We
well
recorded
in
it, as I said, before we started recording. It was right before I started the terrible, endless process of being laid off. So I was like, I have a job that I like. And then by the time it came out, everything was insane. But it all worked out.
It all worked
because
out.
I have a new job that I really like.
Yeah. People should follow everything you're doing on the Ankler.
Yeah, I'm going to promote because Prestige Junkie, I've got the podcast that's free to everybody, but we have a paid tier now where you can get extra stuff. Chris Rose and I are talking about award season, some real nerdy nonsense. So
We're throwing out great takes.
You and Chris Rosen?
You're interviewing great people.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I feel like you and David are united in the idea that Sandler's going to win the Oscar this year.
I'm at least floating it. I'm not like locking it down.
My super hot take is that Happy Gilmore 2 and how well that did and how many people are
This
in
is
it
your
was
take I like.
a really good, that's pushing him forward.
I listened to this episode.
They're both Netflix movies. I think it's all there.
A good take that it is emblematic of a level of love.
Yeah.
And just like acceptance in like you are part of the firmament.
Yeah, that movie is so cheerful and like heartfelt in this way that it just makes you more affectionate toward Adam Sandler, even if you don't like it that much.
And that people forget that for 20 years, the industry would be like, oh, we hate our most successful movie star.
Yeah.
They would throw him under the bus at every opportunity they got and be like, we're ashamed that he's our most consistent.
Yeah, he keeps making all this money
star.
for us.
And now I feel like he's just accepted as like part of Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, and God, speaking of Clooney, like I'm so ready for I guess by the time this airs, it will have premiered at Venice, so the world will know if they got the goods. I'm ready.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
David?
Yes.
Did you order our lunch?
Yes.
I can't wait.
Great. I'm excited to eat it. We got to watch Tango right away because I have to go to physical therapy.
Okay. Thank you all for listening. Please
my
remember
shoulder hurts.
to rate, review, and subscribe. Everything in my body hurts. It's not a competition. I wasn't trying to one-up
I
you.
understand that. It's just one of those things where my shoulders hurt for 3 months, and I'm like, I guess I got to deal with this now because I'm old. Like, it just won't stop hurting.
Yeah.
I know why. It's because the babies, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah, I hold them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they weigh pounds. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When are they going to start standing?
Hmm?
Soon?
Standing?
Soon.
Oh, standing. Whatever. Sorry.
Bebop.
His name. Bebop. One of
Bebop?
them is standing. I don't know. We have to be done. We have to do Tank Girl.
Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe.
Mhm.
Tune in next week for The Lady Killers. What we can all agree is their worst film, even though I will mount a half-hearted
That
partial
one
defense
is
of
right.
it.
I would struggle with. It's not their worst film from
Right.
somebody. Right.
But I was just like, you could rank Intolerable Cruelty as their second worst, and I wouldn't even argue with that because you're only putting masterpieces ahead of it.
That's the thing, is I would defend this movie a lot, but it'd still be like, what am I going to put below it
Yeah.
other
I have
than
things
Lady
below.
Killers?
I
It's
really
bottom
love this
5
movie.
for me. We'll see where it
Yeah.
lands.
It's
in the
probably
ultimate
top of the
ranking.
bottom 5 for me too.
Yeah.
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 You're the
Um,
greatest defender, and you're like
yeah.
top of the bottom
Right,
5.
right.
It's the best I
Still,
can
they've
do.
made a lot of good movies.
They made a lot of perfect films.
Yep.
And we'll continue to talk about them. And as always, we're going to nail your asses. We're going to nail every one of your asses.
Every person out there.
Blank Check with Griffin and David is hosted by Griffin Newman and David Sims. Our executive producer is me, Ben Hosley. Our creative producer is Marie Barty Salinas. And our associate producer is AJ McKeon. This show is mixed and edited by AJ McKeon and Alan Smithy. Research by JJ Birch. Our theme song is by Lane Montgomery and the Great American Novel, with additional music by Alex Mitchell. Artwork by Joe Bowen, Ollie Moss, and Pat Reynolds. Our production assistant is Minnick. Special thanks to David Cho, Jordan Fish, and Nate Patterson for their production help. Head over to blankcheckpod.com for links to all of the real nerdy shit. Join our Patreon, Blank Check Special Features, for exclusive franchise commentaries and bonus episodes. Follow us on social at Blank Check Pod. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, Checkbook, on Substack. This podcast is created and produced by Blank Check Productions.